Number one, like treat everyone as if they're the owner of the company. You know, when you walk into a body shop or a dealership, like that first person, they might be the owner. Mm-hmm. And even if they're not, they're a person.
All right. What is going on out there, everybody? How we doing? We got the Two Stunads in the house. I'm Paulo.
What's up, guys? I'm Drew. Thanks for watching the show. If you guys have not heard us, we are the Two Stunads, two neighborhood local guys. Today we have a banger of a show. I want to make sure everyone that's watching and listening, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. Truly helps us out. We know you guys watch these videos. We got a few over 100,000. Really helps the page out. Really helps with growing the page, giving you guys this content that's all free. And yeah, it's been a journey so far. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being loyal to the show as well. And we're back here again to bring you guys a phenomenal guest that's going to be able to help us connecting with people.
Yeah.
But before we introduce our guest, we always want to do a formal introduction. So we're going to have Paulo introduce our guest today, and stay tuned for the ride.
Yeah, here we go. So this guy right here, he's a master connector. Turned a business networking into a relationship-driven art form, truly at its core. And after 20 years of corporate America, working with more than 15 chambers of commerce, he opened up his own agency, from what I understand. And he quickly realized that most people were networking just for the real quick referrals, right? It wasn't a real connection from what he was seeing. So he kind of flipped the script a little bit. He kind of did the opposite. From what I'm understanding here, he met with 20 business owners a month, over 1,000 people in 4 years. That number might be lower than what I've seen
Guy's
here.
He's an animal, man.
And yeah, he's just built a reputation as a connector who happened to be someone who owns an insurance agency, right? So not the other way around. So that mission that he kind of led got him to launching the Always Be Connecting.
And this is such an important show, guys, especially you guys are young in business or even been in business for years. Being able to have that relationship capital with people and being able to communicate and build those relationships are just going to give you natural referrals. I can't tell you guys enough. When I send a referral, I know that referral is going to work out. I'm not going to send you somebody that's not going to work out. So I take it with a grain of salt. I know a lot of our high successful guests do as well. So building those connections and building that is just only going to help raise your income level. It's going to raise your capital as far as relationships, and it's going to give you the best overall product. And why wouldn't you guys want to connect? Why wouldn't you want to be out there and do what you can for other people and try to make their life better?
Yeah, opens the doors, helps them out. Helping other people helps you out in the long run. But, I just want to welcome to the show a good man, Raghu Sundara.
Welcome, my friend.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Thank
you, Drew, Paulo, for having me on your awesome show. It's amazing what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I love this show.
Thanks for being here.
I love the history behind it.
Absolutely.
Even the name.
You like Stunads?
I had to look it up.
Did you?
I had to look it up, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, Stunads is kind of a slang Italian term for knucklehead or, like idiots, sort of like, don't be a Stunad. So it kind of fits us. We're just two Stunads, just two neighborhood guys trying to figure it out as we go.
That's it, man. I mean, besides just figuring it out, we're here to help people. I mean, we tell people all the time that ask us off the show or in public, hey, love your show. Why are you guys doing it? This and that. And honestly, it's just to be able to give back. I mean, we do this on our spare time to help. We have a lot of fun with it. We don't have sponsors. We don't accept sponsors. Everything's paid for by ourselves. And the whole thing is it's a way for us to communicate and literally build relationships with people, connect with people. How can I help you? What can I learn from? How can I learn from your mistakes? You can learn from my mistakes,
right?
Whether that's in family, in business, in networking, financially, whatever it is. And so that's what we're trying to do, trying to give back. Simply for the fact is people have given back to us. So we feel like we need to pay it forward.
Yeah.
I love it.
Speaking of that, who's better to have on the podcast than Ragu? So
love your hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I love your guys' hats.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Cozy stuff. Talk to us. I want to know. I want to go to the beginning. I want to start all the way to the beginning. Like who was Ragu before you are today? Like where did you grow up? Like talk to us about that.
I grew up in Schaumburg. Not too far from here, about 20 minutes away from Elmhurst.
Okay.
Just grew up there. I didn't have any first cousins in the U.S. growing up.
Okay.
My parents came here in the 60s from India.
Okay.
And I had a lot of different groups of friends growing up.
Sure.
My bowling friends, my cross-country friends.
Nice.
high school friends and so on. And I really always had that feeling where people energized me. And I'm an extrovert. And, you know, some people are introverts, extroverts. It depends on what situation you're in.
Mm-hmm.
People are my alternator. When I go and hang out with people, no matter what I'm doing, they always energize me. And I love hearing about people's stories and what they're about, what makes them tick.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until, you know, I got into business. And I'm like, oh, that's why wouldn't I be that in business? And maybe in it, I eventually built an organization around bringing people together.
Yeah.
To see each other win.
Right.
That's key is to see each other win. And so, but that's me. I grew up in Schaumburg, ran cross country and track.
Nice.
In high school and all that.
Yeah.
Made some good friends there and went to Purdue University. Number 1 in basketball. Hopefully,
the Boilermakers, right?
Stay that way. We're
Boilermakers,
doing pretty well.
right?
Boilermakers.
Yeah,
yep, you're right.
yeah.
You're right. So, you know, met my wife there.
Okay.
And so studied business.
Okay.
And quickly out of college, got into sales.
Nice.
And in corporate America, and spent about almost 20 years in corporate America, like you said.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of working for a lot of different companies over that time period. And I learned a lot about leadership, a lot about mentorship, a lot about camaraderie and what it takes to win together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of good books that came from it, a lot of good systems like, you know, lean management and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of people that I call my squad.
Yeah.
In corporate America, and I never burned bridges. And so I got a couple of jobs that good opportunities that kind of broke the door wide open to got me into insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 7 years ago, I opened up an insurance agency in the same area that I grew up in.
Okay.
And got into networking even more. And then sold that agency about almost 2 years ago now because I'm doing the Always Be Connecting thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just more fun bringing people together, and
it's you, man.
It's just something I'm going deep on.
Yeah. Did you open up Always Be Connecting while you're like?
I did.
How did that work out?
It was a high risk maneuver.
High risk maneuver.
Yeah, but I paid $100 for the first logo, and I'm like, if this sucks, I'll shut it down.
Sure.
It didn't suck. So,
cool.
You know, it was just me, and it's still just me. I want to scale up eventually, but for those 2 years, I mean, I was networking for my insurance agency anyway,
right?
So I was doing the same thing.
You knew what to
my
do.
20 coffee meetups a month.
Yeah,
learned a lot about give and take, and really how to be a problem solver for people, and really that's what it came down to. And you know, I turned that into coaching, being a networking coach for people, organizations. High-level mindsets, time management.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what are people looking for? How can I come to the table with presence, so to speak, right? Not what's in it for me, but what's in it for them first, and jumpstart a relationship that comes right back to you. Connection karma. Whatever you put out comes right back at you.
I like that. It feels sincere. It doesn't seem like it's transactional like we've talked about in the past. It seems like you really want to help these people, and you do help these people. And it, like you said, connection karma. Is that what you said? Yep. It just comes back.
I love it. And there's a lot of things when you meet with 1,000 people in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and you learn more about their stories, and you learn how do they give to people.
Yeah.
And how do they open up, you know, nonprofits and give back to the same community that we grew up in. And you learn, you get better. Like, so a lot of the things that I do, the mindsets, processes, and techniques that I use when it comes to networking, that I teach even, are things that I learned from other people. And so that's really what I owe it to my squad. And you're only as good as who's in your squad. And you just when you think, it's like a pipeline, it's never ending. And it's beautiful. Just when you think, you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I got my network. Well, then you meet somebody new. I mean, it's amazing. Wow. And they teach you other things that you don't know. Different vertical. It never ends. It's like a universe that you know, it's never ending.
Yeah.
And so you just try to give what you can, find out what you're damn good at.
Right.
And go deep on that. I love bringing people together.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to get damn good at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to strive to be the live version of LinkedIn.
I like that.
I like that too.
I like that.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So you mentioned your parents were immigrants in the 1960s when they came over. You guys didn't have any like immediate family besides each other and your older brother. Did you feel like you were kind of forced to get out there and meet people? I mean, obviously you said you're an extrovert, and I know your brother, he seems very extroverted too.
Yep.
But did you feel like because you had such a small family that you wanted to be able to meet people and get, together with people, whether it's hanging out or talking from being a young kid or young age? Is that something that you felt?
Yeah, I think that was part of it because we didn't have like a big family. I mean, when my parents came here, they had other Indian, families that they knew that came over here as well, and they hung out and did a lot of, what I would call networking, but from a friendship side and things like that, and formed communities. But growing up here, my parents always encouraged me. We grew up in the 80s, the late 70s, but 80s and 90s.
Much simpler time.
And so
Much
it's like,
simpler time.
Yeah, my mom's like, don't come in the house until the street lights come on. Right?
Agreed.
Like, why are you watching TV? Why are you watching baseball? Why don't you go play baseball? And so, she didn't really have to encourage me that much because, like, the neighborhood I grew up in, it was in the time period it was all, hey, we're knocking on each other's door saying, hey, can Joe come out today? And the only reason that they couldn't come out is if they were sick and they missed school. It's the only time that they couldn't come out. But even then, we got to do what we got to do. We're going to play basketball, play football, kick the can, things like that.
It's old school.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of other ones, but I'm just going to say that one because, it's cool. Those steal the flag. A lot of these games, and it's camaraderie, and that is
team effort.
Yeah, that was like networking before networking.
Getting together with the guys, the girls, things like that. Yeah. I mean, from the little time that I've known you, just, speaking with Bob, our connection, our network, our pipeline, as you want to say, after I met you for the first time, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you've known Bob for 40 years. 40 years. And just to have, like, from what he's told me, like the stories of like you guys, like him being constantly around, like to have a friendship that long, especially that deep, like that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we don't have to talk about Bob, but just that right there is one of the reasons why I knew you were good at networking, just based off of that friendship alone. Because there's a lot of highs and lows in friendships. Sometimes you might speak more or less or whatever, but I feel like that's kind of hand in hand with networking too. You might have a guy in your pipeline, not that you forgot about or whatever, but you didn't connect as well for the last couple of years, and now you are. So, but yeah, that's one of the things. But let's kind of dive into it too. When you got out of college in your sales things, I want to know, what are those sales, whether you want to call them tactics or foundational pieces that you stumbled on, that you've kind of made your own per se, dirty mixer, whatever, and kind of built into your own system?
Number one, like, treat everyone as if they're the owner of the company. When you walk into a body shop or a dealership, like that first person, they might be the owner. And even if they're not, they're a person.
Yeah.
Right? And just like on the flip side, if I'm walking into a dealership, I got something to sell them potentially, but I also might want to be buying a car from them that same day,
right?
Same week. So you never know, but treat people as if you want to be treated, and just like relate to people. Treat them as if they matter, and lean in, like be interested instead of interesting. That's from the book Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's an awesome motto that I live by, because when you listen to people, and you truly listen, and you care, and you acknowledge things, right? You're genuinely doing that. What goes around comes around. They'll generally lean back and say, "Paulo, what about you? Drew, what about you? What's your story like? Where did you grow up? And what makes you tick?" And you're just basically, sometimes we go through life, go through things, and even in sales, and sometimes it's just, the routine.
It's me.
Yeah, me. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And this is how I'm going to sell you, and this is why you should use us. Instead of just saying, "Oh, who do you have right now?" Like, Tell me about your situation right now.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
If I can or I can't, I got to figure it out first.
Yeah.
I think the best sales guys too, and we've talked about this with a close friend of mine, Dr. Dan Bay, who you might know, but either way we'll connect. Just, the first mistake a lot of sales guys do is they talk so much. They don't actually listen and understand what the client needs or what the patient needs and understand their needs. They're going to tell you what they need. If they came to you, if they sought you out, especially with technology now, Google, Instagram, Meta, all these platforms, they're already vetting you. Mm-hmm. They know, or they're referred.
Totally.
So you're your biggest, fault at the end of the day, a lot of these people that we see. And again, that's one thing too. And I noticed that, and I enjoy like learning the sales cycle or the process, just being on like the back end or just even going through a funnel, like just understanding, okay, why would they do this in the funnel? How can I make mine better? Or, a sales process, how's their follow-up? How's their lost cart stuff? How's this? And understanding that, because when you start to dive into sales more, it's just all about connecting and building that bond and giving the client whatever they need. That's it.
I agree.
And so when you try to force a sale or you try to push something that they don't need, you're only going to get that negative energy back. There's always going to be more sales. A lot of guys just want to have a big sale one time and keep having big sales. Mm-hmm. But it's all about building those relationships, and those big sales will come. But it's the people that I've had smaller sales with that refer me the most business.
Absolutely.
And that give me those big sales. And it's just because I'm just listening to what they want, giving them that, and just being an honest, upfront, like genuine person. Because at the end of the day, they know that they're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a simple transaction because everybody's got to eat. I understand that, if I go here, I'm going to pay. I don't mind paying, but if you take that like connotation of like it's awkward or weird or they feel uncomfortable, like I feel like you can connect. And I feel like that's such a key point if you guys are listening or watching, is everyone just gets caught up in thinking, I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my car note. Like I got to get the sale. And you psych yourself out and you put yourself in a mental state where you feel like you're forced to do it. For one, we never want to, again, live above our means and have to be forced to, I got to make this sale. That's just going to force you into that. But I think it's a super critical, guys, that you guys just take the sales process, whether you're in sales or whatever it is, or just team building. And again, from what I've read, what I've seen from leaders, public figures to family members, is that the best leaders are the ones that are going to ask you, how are you feeling? What can we do better? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they speak last. They want to understand what's going on. That's going to give you, a pulse on the heartbeat of the business. And then that also gives ownership, right? I want my team to love my business and want to help my people as much as I do. Mm-hmm. And if I give them that responsibility and I give them the ability to have a word into decision, I feel like, one, I'm helping them grow, and two, I'm actually building a stronger personal relationship with my team. On top of the fact is my team knows where we're going to go. They know the vision. Yep. So how can we all come together, right? It's like having a team member, you're playing baseball or whatever, that's just, the guy's being a ball hog or whatever. It doesn't work. People get frustrated and they leave. Then you have a bad culture. It's just a domino effect.
Yeah. But it's like the triangle offense.
Yeah.
What it started with, and then went to triangle offense to Jordan and Pippen years, and what it did for the team. They started winning when they got the triangle offense. Jordan still got his points.
Yeah.
But they worked as a team. Right? So I think that it starts from the top too. I think you hit it a little on the head, but it starts from the top when leaders really actually execute like that. Their salespeople will also imitate what they see internally, and that's how they'll sell externally. Mm-hmm. So if you have a leader that doesn't listen to his team and doesn't ask questions and doesn't even care about their team, and all they care about is numbers, and saying, hey, Drew, when you go to that dealership, when you come back, I want to know how many business cards you got from it. What did you get from it? Well, that's putting the pressure on Drew to go out there, and now Drew's like, I better get something from this, and then Drew's not Drew.
Yeah,
so
it's changing.
You're not yourself.
Yeah, you're not yourself. Always sell like yourself.
Right.
Know what you're good at. If you're not funny, if you're not funny, don't try to be funny when you're selling.
Just be yourself.
Yes, be you.
Yeah. Authenticity is the new currency. Yeah. This is what I've heard before. Dr. Dan Bay's mentioned that before. I want to ask, I'm curious, so you were working corporate America, right? Corporate job, 20 years in. But what was the breaking point where you're like, I got to do something else. I got to get out of here. I got to figure something else out. Like, what was it a specific event? Was it a series of events over a course of years? Like what drove you to like say, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna do something else.
Yeah. When I was working in insurance, I was at my second company in insurance in corporate America, and I was making really good money.
Sure.
But I got to a point where I realized, why couldn't I just do this for myself? Why couldn't I do it under my own brand? And everything I've learned in corporate America, the structure, the hiring, the leadership skills, all that other stuff, why can't I take it and package it and do it in my own neighborhood?
Right.
And I just came to that realization because I saw other people do it. Because I always wanted over those 20 years to be a business owner.
Sure.
And always thought about it. But I never thought about, I thought about restaurants. I'm like, I'm not built for owning a restaurant. I'm not built for that type of thing. I want to be passionate about what I'm going to be about.
You got to be passionate.
So I realized that I was like, insurance. I'm like, I know how to hire people. I hired 50 people between those two companies, and a lot of top producing people that I was lucky to have on my team. That people that made me better leader. It goes hand in hand. When you hire the right people, they make it easier for you to work with them, and they were good at a lot of things I wasn't good at. I learned from them. They learned from me, and so I came to that realization. I'm like, why wouldn't I just take the leap? And my wife's like, you should just do it because it's something that you don't want to regret, even if you open it up and maybe it doesn't work. That's okay.
Right.
It's okay. It doesn't work.
I like, that's one rule that I like to live by is regret that you did it versus regret that you didn't do it. Right. And I feel like just make the jump. Like, so let me ask you this. What were your thoughts about the risk involved? Like, this might not work out. And like, did you have a backup plan, or like did you have those conversations with your wife?
Yeah, I did. I was like, hey, what if this investment that we make into it, what if we just lose it all? Like, what if I don't get any of it back?
That's a real conversation.
Yeah. Oh no, it's real. It's real because I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And we had goals of financial goals. Sure. What if this doesn't work out and it just totally sucks?
Setback.
Yeah. And she's like, it's a calculated risk. I remember that's what my wife said. She's like, it's a calculated risk. It's not like I was going into something that I didn't have any experience in.
Yeah.
Like, so the toughest thing about insurance or a lot of businesses is finding the right people. Well, I found the right people, 2 different companies.
Right.
The second thing is leading them in the right way.
Right.
And being not a silent owner, but an active owner, being like a Pete Rose player coach, because you got to do that, right? And I had no problem doing that. So that was the other thing. At Liberty Mutual, the other company that I was with, I got more involved. It challenged me more, and so I was ready for it, the challenge. And so those are the things that we talked about, and it just made me more comfortable about, what, big deal. It doesn't work out. I can always either go back to corporate America, but what I didn't realize, the network that I got now, the network that I just uncovered with all the people that I met over the course of the last 7 years through the, probably 1,500 meetups that I've had over the last 7 years now.
Right.
My network is untouchable.
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
I'll put my network against anybody.
Yeah.
And you guys are in it.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. And it's like, I feel lucky.
Yeah, well, dude, we feel lucky that you're here, so appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up with too, because I know a lot of the viewers and listeners watching the show currently are, they work for, big offices or, mid-sized to small businesses. What are some things that either they should stand up for, or if they see something wrong in that business, how do they communicate with leadership? Because as you just said, there's leaders in these companies that, are intimidating. They're tough to get to, or leadership, doesn't accept, communication, especially negative or positive encouragement in the proper ways, scared of losing their job, or in that sense. 'Cause I know we've talked to a lot of people that have reached out to us, DM'd us like, hey, how do I do this? But I think it would be good for you to touch on, especially being a leader, hiring, and then how do you communicate that? Or how does a staff member communicate up leadership?
Yeah. So, if your company has a clear, way of doing it, I would definitely go down that path. So a lot of companies are like, open door policy.
Yeah.
Go to your direct boss, say something, set up a meeting. Number one, set up a meeting,
Which is crazy now that you have to think about setting up a meeting because everything's people just want to send an email.
Yeah.
And so let's just have a sit down like we are right now.
Well, yeah.
And it's face to face.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that gets said in conversations that are just passing conversations, like in a hallway, like water cooler talk. And that's not real because that's not, it's just, there's no thought behind it.
Just small
versus
talk.
Setting up a meeting and say, hey, Drew, I'd love for us to meet. And the reason where I'm coming with this, I want to be a better producer here, and help the company grow. Tie it back to the company goals, tie it back to the individual goals. They should mesh at some point, right? And that's why we're meeting. And so when we meet, this is the things that I'd like to see, and that's what I'm hoping to get out of this. What does good look like? What are you hoping to get from the meeting? Instead of just saying, hey, I want to meet with you just to have things get better. Yeah. That's very general. What is better?
Here's a question that we got DM'd. We had a listener, whatever, found us on Instagram, DM'd us, hey, love your show, been watching it. I have a question for you guys about talking to leadership about getting a raise, right? And the gentleman was saying that, he does all this is sales, it's in his numbers, and these other two guys, they got raises, but I didn't get raises, and I'm if not better, if the same. How come I didn't get a raise? So, I sent them a message. I said, okay, did you communicate with leadership? Did you say, hey, let's talk? Did you have your numbers? Did you show them the numbers? What did you do? Well, no, I didn't do anything. Explain what would be the best answer to that person if they're listening or watching, or maybe this is a similar situation, you guys listening and watching, and how to communicate that if you feel like you're undervalued in that sense, if you're hitting your numbers, besides just being upset about it and then leadership not knowing, because we see that as on the leadership side as business owners, especially if we're bogged down with everything. And sometimes it's difficult to check in with people, especially if we have a huge team, because you always want to have a pulse on everybody. And that's a fault of mine. I do it, and it happens. It's just part of it. I hate to do it. I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable, valued, but explain to these viewers a little bit about that. How could they attack that situation?
Yeah. I would think that also, that person could lean on their network too. There's other people that they know that might work for other companies, friends of theirs, people that are even retired that have been through that they can lean on, just confidence wise even. So, because sometimes it's just confidence of, what you have to do. You have to approach your boss and say, let's even have the conversation. And then, but also lay out in a clear, concise way what your goal is, right? And what your argument is. What are you frustrated about? Because a lot of people just go into a conversation and then just rant about a lot of different things, and it's like nothing gets done, and they look like they're just complaining just to complain. Whereas there's a lot of different factors involved. Do the research too. So sometimes, somebody says they got a raise. Drew says he gets a raise, but did he get a raise? That's, some people don't want to be, they feel like they're insecure. So they'll say, oh yeah, I got a raise. I make this much, when they really didn't.
Sure.
So do the research. And if it's sometimes it's confidential, so you can't really talk about that. So if you're in a larger company, and your boss is not giving you the opportunity to, have that open door policy, maybe reach out to, an HR professional, HR generalist in your company to get their advice, because those types of companies, they should be, it's all confidential, everything that gets talked about it. And you start the conversation, don't use names, and ask them, hey, I feel like this way, this is what I'm hoping, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Ask them for their advice, because even with their companies, there might be opportunities. And then one last thing, a lot of these companies, they have handbooks, employee handbooks.
Yep.
Go to there. If they don't have employee handbooks, they should get an employee handbook.
Black books.
Yeah.
Employee handbooks will be, it's all there. There's a reason why it's there, because it's legal.
Yeah, they have the SOPs.
Yep, SOPs. Yeah. So go there, check there, put the research in. If you're that amped up about, justifying why you deserve a raise, we'll put the research in about,
show the data. Yeah.
Show the data, the real data.
Show me your numbers.
Exactly.
And then, that's more of a big business. On a small business side, as a business owner, like my typical standard protocols, anyone that I hire, we always set goals. Always. I'm going to have 90-day goals, 120, 360. And then we put a system in place. Now, your goals could be, hey, I want to be able to get a raise, or I want to be able to get a bonus. Some people are incentivized on, I want to be able to have more time with my kids, or I want to be able to do this. So being able to know your people on the business side as a small business owner is huge, because just like you said, if you're in a job role and you don't know how to get to the next level, well, then you don't know what your goal is.
Exactly.
You don't know how can I attack that goal, or how can I reverse engineer a plan to get that goal to help the business, right? And so it's a lot of times what I see too when I'm coaching some of our consulting clients is that the leadership that they have either just doesn't give a shit about them, they're a number to replace, and they're scared to communicate because if they don't want to ask for a raise because they're worried about getting laid off or this and that. And I hate to hear that, because it's like, dude, you got to communicate. Like, and if you're at a company, I always tell people, if you're at a company where you feel like you can't communicate, that's just a bad culture. Like,
it's a red flag.
It's a red flag. And it's tough for people to make the jump, because they might be getting paid well, but then they have the golden handcuffs where they're locked in, and they feel like no matter what, if the email isn't sent by Friday at this time, that like they're going to get written up, and then they're going to be on a performance package and all this stuff, or a performance plan, whatever it is. And so like, that anxiety, like, just get out of that situation. I know it's hard to break from if you're listening to this and like you're in that situation, but reach out to your people, have your data, hard facts to be able to bring, hey, this is what's going on. Am I doing something wrong? How can I improve? Look at yourself, ask yourself before you go in, and go in prepared, because that's what you're going to get asked. If someone was to come to me and say, hey, I want to raise, I'd be like, okay, let's review the last, whether 120 days, whatever it is. Let's go over the data. And if it's justified, perfect, let's do it. Like, but if you don't take the shot, you don't prove anything. Like, if somebody comes in and be like, okay, well, you're just doing your job.
Yeah.
You're not going above and beyond. Like, you're just doing the standard protocol of what your job is. And I appreciate you doing that, but I shouldn't have to thank you for that.
Let me ask you the flip side of that. Being the manager, being the one that is managing the ones underneath you, the argument could be, well, you should know what I'm doing. You should know how much shit I'm bringing to the table and the improvements that I'm making. Like, why aren't you being proactive there? And I'll ask both of you. Like,
that's a good question.
What I'm saying? That's a thought that I've got.
I would say on my side, that's a mistake that happened during the hiring process that wasn't talked about and wasn't put in play. So just like I said, when I have an offer letter that I send to whoever to hire, I have clear benefits. I have your expectations. I have your, these are the standard protocols that we have. We have a brand book. These are the guides, a uniform, what we're going to do day in, day out. And these are the goals that we hit. And when we hit these goals, and before the goals are set in place, I talk to them about what their goals are in the offer package, whether it's financially or time off. And everyone's are different. It's crazy, when you're talking between different employees. Some people they want more money, or they want more time off, or they want, hey, I need a stipend for this. Whatever the goals are, if you don't put that in place, you're already setting yourself up for failure as a business owner, because you're not giving your team, one, the overall vision of the business, and two, an individualized goal that they can hit and achieve. And then once those goals are set in place, it's my job to make sure and breed those people and encourage them and give them energy to get to those goals, essentially, on a small business side.
I agree. If they don't know if both parties don't know what winning looks like from a company standpoint and from an individual standpoint, then that's where it's going to eventually unravel.
Somebody's going to get frustrated.
Yeah, first somebody's going to get frustrated. Where
both sides might get frustrated.
The individual, right? the employee might is like, yeah, I'm winning. Yeah, and the boss is like, you're not winning. You're not. What are you winning? What is winning? So it's like, what does a good day look like for you? And they think they've had many good days, right? Like many good weeks, and they're killing it, but maybe they're not. And so I agree. It starts from the beginning, how you set the tone from the interview when you bring them on. It also how does that connect to their personal goals even? So like if they want to buy a house, like put that, have them, if that motivates them, that's what should be talked about in these meetings. And if it doesn't come back to that, the employee will lose engagement. They're like, well, I'm just doing this to sell widgets. Yeah, but if this widget is to, help me buy a big house that where I can move my family because we're expanding, that's what it's really about. Yeah. And they'll stay in tune. On the flip side, if the boss is talking about the manager is talking about, well, you helping, you doing this will help us hit our company goals.
Right.
If that employee if they only care about themselves and not the company goals, like how it impacts that,
right,
then they're not going to even see what winning truly looks like, which is pushing the needle forward
for the company.
And so, like, even in employee opinion surveys, like net promoter score of companies, how likely are you to refer a friend or a family member to work here?
Yeah,
that is one of the key factors. That's one of the key factors is, does my job impact what we do here today? Like how our performance is as a company.
Yeah. And just to touch on that family thing, when I started in business, I had no clue about SOPs. A small business owner, they didn't teach you that.
No.
They just teach you what you went to school for. They don't teach you how to run a business. So that was a pitfall for me, learning how to do that. And then secondly, to go back to Paulo's question, just on the flip side, once you get an employee under that system of having goals, you can delegate that person as a big brother or big sister to help the people below them.
Yeah, love that.
And so that, on a business owner side, once you start to grow and you scale, your time is obviously limited. So being able to delegate that, all right, perfect. We're going to delegate it to you. I'm going to be able to give you an increase in raise because we're doing this. And then these are the expectations for that. And then you just keep building that family, essentially. And I feel like the best companies that I've ever worked for or been a part of, even if I've just donated my time, are the ones that bring people together where you're a family. People say work family and whatever, but truly you're spending so much time with these people that they know more about you than some of your own family members. And you have to take that, there's got to be a dichotomy, right? A balance between a boss and employees, which is huge. But the more I'm able to understand them, the more they're going to refer, the more they're going to go above and beyond. And it's not that the people just don't want to go above and beyond, because everybody can. It's that they're not bought into the business owner's goal or vision for the company, and then the business owner isn't bought into their goal, right? Because at the end of the day, in my business, I know that the people that work for me aren't going to be with me forever. But if I can help them get from where they're at to where they want to be quicker, or teach them how to run a business, or teach them how to do something and get above somebody else, to me, that's a win. Now, I see it too. There's different wins in business. You have, obviously your financial goals in business, your mission goals to help people. And then the other one for me that's within the last 2 years is, how can I make my team win on an individual basis in hitting their goals? How can I plant their tree so it grows straight and then they can get there? And so when I did that, those financial goals and those other business goals flourished more than if I put more energy in those other two. Like 100% more.
Oh yeah.
Because the fact that I actually, besides wanting it for me, I wanted it to win. And when I showed that passion and showed a little bit of energy and respect, hey man, if your car breaks down, don't worry about it. Here's a little bit of money forward for you to take care of it.
Juice.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it goes so far because you just care about people, man.
And people see that and they realize it, and they're like, this is a manager who cares about me. This is someone that isn't just a manager; he's a friend, and he's obviously my boss at the end of the day, but he respects me. And what do you do in return? You get that respect back.
I want to be able, if I'm working for somebody, to know that I can always call them, and that they're not going to judge me, and that they're going to listen to me and do what they can to help. I don't want to feel like if I call them, they might take it one way, or they might not understand my situation, because I'm not going to call them then. It builds that fear. And then that fear just trickles down, and then you create a cancer in your culture, and then people leave. And then that's why businesses fail. I mean, we see it all the time, especially with the consulting clients. It's usually, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. And they're not bought into the people first. Buy into your people first.
Yeah.
Buy into your team, buy into your culture. And then once you build that culture and you build that foundation, it's rock solid, man. And then people that you think wouldn't be with you forever, they're with you forever.
Yeah.
And I remember starting on business, we'd have people that worked for us where they'd be just 6 months, or, there'd be 3 months. And you're like, why is there so much turnover? They're getting paid well, this, I'm something's wrong. There's a hole in the bucket. And once you fill that hole, we have people that work for us for 6-7 years. And it's just like you said, they become so close to you that it's just hard to explain, in the sense of just being a good person and doing those things, man. It sounds so easy to do, and it's difficult at times, but it truly builds a solid foundation. And so when we're talking to you guys watching and listening, like the most important thing I can express to you as a business owner is to make sure that you're valued and giving you that value, because we want to help you grow. And if you're not in that situation, you feel undervalued, you feel like you're complaining to your spouse when you come home, oh, this guy's a jag off, he's passive aggressively sending me an email, like you're in the wrong culture.
And recognize those flags and do something about it right away.
And if you recognize them, that's normal. That's how you should feel.
That's good,
Okay, that's not normal to just accept it.
No, definitely
at
not.
all.
Definitely
so don't
not.
just sit in the situation. Have some confidence. Reach out to somebody like you. Talk about it, and get out of the situation. Just like if you're in a bad relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how many business owners you talk to have a problem with retention and employees?
A lot. But then I know a lot that don't.
And what are the differences?
The difference is it starts from the top. The way they treat people. Just treat the empathy. Empathy is the biggest thing.
I'm glad you touched on that. I'm so glad you touched on that.
You know, it's just if you don't have it, and if you don't show it, it's actually contagious. They don't show it to the clients either.
Right.
They don't show it to their coworkers.
Very true.
If you treat people like crap, they're going to treat everyone like crap, and then the crap leave. The people they just leave because they don't. Why would you want to be in a place that doesn't really even treat people the right way? But then the flip side, the people that I know that have awesome cultures, they are great to their people. They show empathy. They know that a couple words every day, specific, goes a long way. When people, even on the bad days, when somebody is not, maybe they're having a bad day.
Yeah, they got your back.
They got your back,
Yeah.
and it's like it's one bad day, and they're not questioning the bad day. They're caring about what's wrong.
Yeah.
And it might be something, hey, this is not like you. Like, is everything okay? Letting them open up because, you know, you don't know what's going on. And, you know, having that open space, that safe space, that open line of communication with your team will create an atmosphere where people are proud to work somewhere and they're bragging about it.
Yeah.
You're like, man, you should come work here because
on top of
it's
that,
a great place.
On top of that too, like when you instill that culture, you're in that culture and there is a new hire, you know right away if that hire is going to work out.
Yeah.
They're going to weed themselves out.
Totally.
So it really does a justice as a business owner or you're running a corporate company to set that foundation, because if you're able to do that and you have staff that is in that and they believe in that, they're going to weed those people out and you're going to have way more time. You're not going to have to worry about this or worry about, oh man, I need to hire over here. I'm losing over here. Now, Paul, I got to give you more work because this person quit.
Right.
And then you're going to put a load on your team. And it sounds so simple, man, but it's difficult to do. But once you take the time and build a standing operating procedures and do that stuff, like it just sets the tone. It's night and day. And so many small business owners do not have a black book. I mean, it blows my mind how many people ask.
It's amazing.
You know, and I take a lot of pride in ours because it's us, it's me. And it's also sellable. I can give this to you now. Like I can sell my company because I have like execution points.
I love that.
Yeah,
I was just talking to somebody today.
I have a brand.
Yeah,
like, I don't have a small business. I have a brand.
It's not just a service. It's a business. In business, you can sell services. You can't sell services to people.
Yeah, and I'm in a service business.
Right.
It's because you have something that's running, even when you're not there. You know, I know you have to do your adjustments.
Yeah, in my business, it's service based.
He has to be there.
Yeah, you have to be there.
Yeah.
But
if
I'm
plug and playable
doing
now.
it one day, somebody would buy it from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's attractive to them, right? Why is it attractive to them? Because
you can take X out of the situation and put Y in. That still fits.
Yep.
Exactly.
And there's consistency too, probably, right?
Yep.
You're not just doing it one day.
No.
You've been doing it and they know what to expect. It's not
Well, it's your brand. Yeah, there's expectations.
Yeah,
and we
that's what's
hold each other
beautiful.
to a standard of excellence, which, you know, I watch a lot of Andy Frisella and having that standard of excellence and just setting it from the top and whether it's in your life, personal life, your business life, and your friendships. You know, we talked about this on a show before. Like, if it's somebody's birthday and I see it on Facebook, I'm going to send them a text. Hey, man, happy birthday. I want somebody to wish me a happy birthday on my birthday. Like, take the 2 seconds and send the text.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a great way to networking, too.
It is.
You might not have talked to that person forever. And, hey, man, I hope you're doing well. This is Drew. I hope you have a great birthday, man. Enjoy the day.
And it takes 2 seconds to do.
It does.
It doesn't have to be anything profound.
Yeah.
It just got to be a little thought.
Or, I don't know if you do this. I do this all the time. Like, when I'm coming home, like I'll call a friend that I haven't talked to. Hey man, I'm just on my way home from work. I had a couple minutes, just checking in. I haven't heard from you in a while. Hope all is well. And if I connect with them, like, and versus just listen to the radio, the same songs, like.
You're right. Because that's one of the keys that I talk about when it comes to networking. When you're on the road and you're hands free, of course, but you call somebody, call a weak tie, somebody you haven't even talked to in a while, an old coworker that you haven't talked to in a long time, but you guys were always cool. When you call them, it's almost like you never left.
Yeah.
And you're like picking up where that conversation is. And pretty soon, actually, you're like, man, actually, there is some sort of connection there because they just switched jobs or they need a new chiropractor. And you're like, I know somebody.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's what it really comes down to. And then I go to Bussy Woods a lot.
Yeah.
And I go to Bussy Woods and I do my 4-mile walks on Sunday mornings sometimes. And, I just call people, my buddies that don't live in this area anymore. And I'm like, hey, you free for like 10 minute, 15, 20 minute chat?
Right.
And I call 2 or 3 of them and I catch up while I'm out. And that walk was.
You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
That walk goes by fast.
Efficiency.
Instead of just listening to the same songs over
a lot
and
of
over
times
again.
I can't get off the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back at the house.
I'm sitting in the driveway and my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm on the phone.
The other person's talking too much. Is that what it is?
No, it's usually me. No, you know who you are, you guys out there.
I had a quick question just to kind of go back to the raises and the bosses, managers, just something that kind of popped into my head. I'm curious what your thoughts are. A manager once told me that the fastest way to get a raise is to make your boss look good. And I'm just curious, like, do you agree with that mindset? Like, how does that square up with the belief that, network is about service and not like promotion? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
So my thought is, what would the boss do with that looking good scenario? So you make your boss look good.
Correct.
What would they do with that? Would they hold it for themselves, or do they share it? Are they a manager or are they a coach? What are they? So that's the key.
Yeah.
Depending on that, it could be good.
Sure.
To make your boss look good.
Yeah.
But it could also go like, Give and Take book by Adam Grant. Top 10% of salespeople are givers. The bottom 10% of salespeople are givers. Well, I would say if you're giving it with intention,
sure,
and you're giving it your all, and you don't have the proper boss, and you're like, that person is you're not gonna benefit from it in any way when you should.
Right.
That's unnecessary energy sometimes. So, but before you put that energy in, draw out some guidelines of saying, hey, it's almost like a parent-teacher or a parent-student contract, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, hey, if I do this and I help you do this, how do we win? We win, right? What does that look like? And get them to nod like you're nodding, sure, right? And have that come through, and then follow up with an email. I know a lot of managers follow up with emails. Hey, this is our recap. Maybe you do the recap and say, hey, this is what we talked about. And if I do this is what it's going to look like. So just to cover yourself.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking as you're saying that, like, it's almost like a sales process, like with that hiring and setting goals. Like, it just resonated with me right now. Like, it's almost like a sales process that it takes time to perfect, and it takes time and it's constantly pivoting. But it really is, because you're understanding what that person wants as a business owner. And I see it a lot too, like where a lot of these companies, they scale so quickly and people aren't taught. Like, leadership isn't taught on how to do the things that you're doing. And I'm only taught on how to do it through failure, through losing people or not being a good communicator or talking to this person differently than that person and not understanding that not everyone can be spoken to that way or communicating that way. It takes some time. Like, I had a employee that worked for me, and it was just little things that I did. Just little, like, some people just little encouragement. I was like, hey, you're doing a great job. Just checking in with you. How can we help? And it was like night and day. Just like, and some other people don't need that. Some people don't need that pat on the back. And it's just, I feel like the leadership, especially in these big corporations, it's all about dollars and cents, especially with the PE money and making sure that, the stocks are going up every quarter, this and that, don't hit goals. And it's almost like the rat race. And then you have people that are watching or viewers that are taking the train downtown, and we see it all the time. And they're just like this, just doing the same thing, golden handcuffs, and they're just a number. And it's sad because, like, what would you tell leadership? Like, if you were to go into a company and analyze and go through their hiring and firing process, or just their networking and essentially brand, what would be the first thing that you would do to make sure that that process is in place properly so that they can decrease the turnover in employees?
Well, I would start with employee opinion surveys. I would say, what do they think so far, and make them completely
honest
answers, right? Or create a conversation around it. Obviously, a real conversation live would be great.
But people are scared.
People are scared. But I think so. Then just do those surveys, where they can be honest about their answers and not have any retaliation fears.
Those anonymous surveys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are
they really anonymous?
They are. In a lot of companies, they are.
Yeah.
And if they're not, that's straight up. I mean, I wouldn't work for that company.
Yeah.
If they're not, you can't.
Yeah.
When you talked about that other scenario where you should just leave.
Yeah.
If you have an anonymous survey and for some reason you find out it's not, I would not work for that company.
Huge red flag.
How about this question I have for you? So we had somebody send us a similar DM where this person was been working for the company for 6-7 years, done a great job for the company, has multiple people that on his team from the companies that he's actually been part of, he's worked for. The owners have said, hey, you've done a great job with the company. We love what you're doing here. And given that positive feedback to the leadership. And that person, was not seeing that in the sense of the leadership wasn't taking that encouragement that was given as a response from the business owner that they were doing work for, and put on a performance package based off of just things like that. And he was like, well, this is weird because I'm getting all these, positive encouragements from the people that I'm doing business for with you. Like, I'm doing their stuff. We're getting great reviews from it. And why am I on this performance package? There's no answer. There's things like that. Then the gentleman says that he's on this performance package for 6-8 months. He's stressed out. He's exhausted because he's worried. I got to hit these goals. So the whole time he's screenshotting, thank you for this, making sure that he has the data so that he doesn't lose his job. And then one day just gets a call saying, hey, we got to have a meeting at 10 o'clock. And they let him go on the spot. I mean, how can you protect yourself as an employee when you have this information, you've hit all the performance goals, you've hit this stuff, and you're not good enough? Is that just a company thing? Is that a culture that you're in? I mean, what is that?
That sounds like a terrible
loaded question.
Yeah, there's a lot there. That gets into an area where I have people in my network that are leadership coaches, and they go into businesses.
Again, this is a DM.
Yeah.
So I don't know every little detail.
Yeah.
I'm not reading it off my phone as you guys are watching the video, but that's the general sense from that. And I'm like, how do I answer this? How can I help this guy? Essentially, I'm looking at myself fuck, what can I do? Because we get these DMs, and it's and people really are scared. They don't know us. We got people, and they have no clue who we are. And I'm like, how do you help these people? But what guidance would you give them
in that situation? Because it's so he already got let go.
Yeah.
I would call at this point, I would call his HR department.
Yeah.
The company and say, hey, this is the way I felt. This is where I was at this point. And this is my concerns. These are my concerns. What do you think? Because the fact is, HR
I'm hitting my performance. I'm hitting my stuff. Why am I let go?
Exactly.
And I've been with you guys for 7 or 8 years.
Exactly.
I think he said that there was new ownership or something like that within the last 2 or 3 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to help them because it's just, you get these things and you're perfect to answer it.
Yeah. There's sometimes, sometimes there's no clear answer. So it's sometimes I don't like to just give an answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just to give an answer.
It sounds like whoever DM'd you knew that this situation was a pretty poor situation to be in.
Yeah.
And they took the steps necessary to document everything and, make sure they had that paper trail that you talked about, right? But if he's getting laid off or he's getting let go.
Yeah.
You can use AI, and you can just plug that situation in AI anonymously and say, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What would you do? And AI, ChatGPT will be like, okay, you should talk to an employment attorney.
Sure.
And and then you call or just research a firm, any employment attorney firm or law firm, and you could ask them, hey, this is what happened. Ask him to say what he sent on your DM. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is there something what advice would you give me?
And
these law firms that are local here,
Yeah.
they'll at least try to point them in the right direction.
Yeah.
I know, because I feel like too, like I wanted to say, hey, you definitely reach out to an attorney to help, because I don't have a clue on how to process this. But like, I almost felt like it's like I was putting myself in his shoes, giving them that empathy, like you're saying, like he's got to be racing to like, fuck, what do I do? I got to find a job. Like he obviously has to pay bills. I mean, rent or whatever it is. Like it's almost like it's a burden now that you have to go out and seek help or leadership or an attorney, and it's like I'm trying to find a new job.
Which in today's day and age, it's not easy.
That's something where I maybe somebody like me.
Is that something I can refer and connect?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, to me, yeah, because then I would probably spend most of my energy.
Yeah.
Or most of my energy on helping him getting to people that could find him a new opportunity.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening, and you work all across the country.
Absolutely.
So if you guys are listening and you guys are in whatever situation it is where you either feel undervalued or on a performance package, and you have like facts to show like, hey, this is what's going on. For one, you're in a tough situation. Everyone's feeling for you. But two, reach out to him, communicate. Maybe you have a better fit. And if you are in a situation where you got laid off and you're trying to find a job and you're also trying to figure out getting your severance or whatever, like connect. I know it can be difficult. You're trying to do 1,000 things, kids, family, bills, this and that, but you're perfect for this, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's in the northwest suburbs of Chicagoland, I could meet them or bring them to one of my referral groups, my networking groups. And there's people there. I have like almost 100 members. I have networking events every week. From Schaumburg all the way to Chicago, downtown. And there's people there, 50 to 70 business owners sometimes that come out to these events.
Looking for people, probably.
Looking for people. I know 5 people right now that are looking for salespeople. And just because they want them to go out and network for them.
Yeah.
And they already have closers. Then other people are looking for customer service.
Yeah.
And just estimators when it comes to people in the trades and, roofing and so on, so there's a lot of people looking. Staffing is tough right now in a lot of different industries.
Yeah.
So what I would just say is come out to an event and just your next role could be right in front of you.
Let's just say they don't live in Illinois. Do you guys have the ability for them to jump on a Zoom call and virtually see the event or anything like that? Or do you do any virtual networking connects or anything like that? Or is that maybe that's something that you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah. So my whole initiative from the beginning is always in person.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not gonna go away from that. But I know a lot of other people in my network that do online networking events, and I'd be glad to refer them to them. And but I'm also open to jump on a one-on-one call with people to talk about how it can help them potentially, and just be upfront with them and say, like, hey, I can either help you or I know somebody who can.
Yeah, I think the main point of this last couple minutes here is just reach out to people. Don't feel scared that you can't talk to people. There's people out there that want to help you, even just to get their advice. And if you are in a situation where you lost your job and you thought you were undervalued, there's plenty of people looking for people to work. I'll tell you that. Plenty of people, and they have no problem with making sure that you feel valued and feel comfortable in that position and that you can grow, essentially. Because I feel like that's a number one thing when people are going to a job. How can I grow? Yep. They want to know, at least when they're asking me, how can I grow and get better? How can I grow? A lot of people want to grow.
Yeah. And so what good bosses, good leaders do is help, their employee, help them understand what is growing to that employee. What does growing look like? Is growing learning accounting skills, or is growing looking to be to get a promotion and doing what it takes to get that promotion? Some people don't want to go to that a different level. They just want to be the best at what they do, right? Devin Hester should have remained a kick return, putt returner, right? We try to make him something different. We can go argue about it, but he was the best at what he did. Just pay him more. And so, that's just like an analogy there. But
no, yeah, I think that
a lot of sports analogies back to business.
That parallels quite a bit. I mean, with sport, just people feeling undervalued, or or a coach wanting to make this guy fit in a system that doesn't fit, or vice versa. With that, but I want to dive into these networking events. And kind of go from there. Let's start. Do you remember your first networking event with the company that you started?
Do I remember it? Yeah.
Do you know how many people were there?
I think it was only like 20, 15, 20.
And how was the grind to get that thing set? How hard was it? Or how did you go out there? Were you guerrilla marketing? Were you calling people, emailing? I mean, you know, you had a deep 20 years of corporate America, but I want to hear the struggles of that first meeting or first meetup to where you're at now doing once a week. Because I think that's amazing, man. I mean, for you to get that many people together says a lot about you. One, being a leader, and two, being a communicator, for sure. I mean, to get that many people together weekly, that's extremely difficult. I mean, you're like an influencer in person, really are, for business owners, which is huge. And that's applause to you. I want to hear how you did it.
It was the biggest thing I owe is consistency. Every time I had an event, the next one was already set. So I already had the next one set. So when the 12 to 15, 20 people came to that first one, I had already said, hey, a month from now, 2 months from now, I have my next one. So it's like those 15 people are like, oh yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah. And
then they would bring 1 or 2 people. And then I would send them the calendar invites. So I found out what makes people show up to things. Calendar invites do. That stays on their calendar. It's the same things that would make somebody show up to, you know, appointment for sales, like for a sales call, right? You send them a calendar invite nowadays, right? And so I just kept doing that. And I started with 20 people, then 30 people, and then other people that I would meet at other networking events and just meetups and Bears games and things like that where I met you. And I would be telling them, hey, you should come to a networking event. Or they had friends that lived near Schaumburg, and I would tell them that. And then I kept adding, and then pretty soon I got to like, 200 people that I'm inviting, and only like say, 20% can come, but that's 40 people.
Yeah.
And then now I'm up to 500 people on one list, and then Google Calendar will only cap it at 500, and I have another 200. So I send 700 people right now.
Wow.
In the northwest suburbs.
What type of automation system do you use for those emails? You don't send them out individually, do you?
I am the automation.
Oh, man.
You are? You got to get like a...
I know.
Paolo's got to help you out.
I know.
Service provider or something. Like if you're sending them out of... Are you sending them out of Gmail or like...
Gmail.
Man, you got a lot of
I'm a beast though. No, I don't have a lot of time. I do it really fast.
Typing, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I do a lot of texting.
Sure.
So I always talk about earn the right to text people. Like you and I texted right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I earn the right to text people. So in order to text somebody, you have to get their real cell. You have to get their cell.
Sure.
So when I met 1,500 people in person, I get their cell and I get their permission. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I text you for something? Right. You said you want to come to my events, right?
Yeah, I did.
So can I provide you the best way to come to my events?
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
What is it?
One of it's through text reminders.
Simple.
And another one is through calendar invites. You good with that?
I am.
Cool. Awesome. Done. So then that's what got me built up to that. So I would just keep asking questions.
I love that.
It wasn't like earth shattering. It's not rocket science.
How many people have said no to you?
Probably 10.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
10. There's people that haven't come to an event in like 30 events. And, they're like they still get my calendar invites. And I'm like, when I see them, I'm like, hey, are you mad? You want me to remove it? They're like, no. It just keeps me focused.
Yeah.
I love your calendar invites because it keeps me focused. And even though I can't attend, even if I can attend one event out of 40 this year, it's still at least you held me accountable for it. It was on my calendar because I hit tentative a lot, right?
Sure.
And then it goes in the diagonal
thing.
What I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm all about processes, and I know I can do automation.
Yeah.
But I like the manual part of it.
Takes away that personal feel.
Yeah. Because when I text you individually, and I'm,
well,
texting,
you know me, it's on automation.
But I know everybody, and I know you, and you come back and you're
I appreciate that.
And you come back with, oh yeah, blah blah. I could acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't respond to it right away because I'm texting like 70 other people, I hit pin it to the top of my and I do it from my laptop too, so it's not like way easier.
That helps, yeah.
I do it from my laptop. I'm not texting for myself.
Sure.
No way.
Yeah.
But it's coming from me.
Right.
And it's real.
And it's not an automated message. It's not it's helpful.
Besides the networking, I know it's networking, you've created this culture where people are excited and it builds a fire. And it's almost like you get like re-energized. It sounds like I've never been to an event, but it sounds like just bringing the people together. Like they're like, oh, I can't wait till the next one. Like you create this positive energy, even if they go to the event and they don't actually get a connection or whatever, just that energy that they get. And I'm sure you see that too, where people come in, they're kind of hesitant, they're a little scared, they're quieter, and then they'll go to a couple events and all of a sudden, boom, they're like, wow, you're super extroverted. Like, you didn't say a word the last 3 events.
Yeah.
Where do you typically host these events?
A lot of venues in Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, Rolling Meadows, Arlington Heights, Addison.
Yeah.
Go to, I just started in Civic Opera House building, downtown Chicago.
Oh, wow.
I just did one last week. I'm going to be doing another one there in a month.
Okay.
So I'm expanding to Chicago.
Yeah.
But I love, the energy is part of it. And my events actually are called Connection Catalyst because that's what I try to be.
Yeah.
When you talk about somebody entering, and I have a feel for the energy in the room. And it's almost like, since I know like 80% of the people that are coming anyway, and I know their stories, and I know that what this person has in common with this person, but they don't know it. Yeah. And I love like setting and forgetting it. Where that infomercial, set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like to do.
Set and forget.
That cooking thing, right?
Yeah.
I just like, hey, Paulo, I want to introduce you to Drew. He's a chiropractor in Arlington Heights, and blah blah blah. And then I'm like, you guys are just running. It's a rolling start. Let it go. And you guys don't feel like I'm passing the buck. You don't feel like I'm ditching you. You guys are engaged in a conversation. I just made that happen.
Right.
I love
That's
that,
Connection Catalyst, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do everything that I wish was done for me.
Yeah.
Many times.
And you guys
in my
figure
career.
it out. You guys can handle it from here. But I got the fire started.
Yeah.
You lit the
They shake it and run.
Yeah.
And sometimes those spin-off connections are way better than like even my connection with that original person.
Sure.
The original two.
Yeah.
They like each other more than they like me. So it's great.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Impossible.
That's awesome.
Impossible.
It's the best feeling, like when you're like, oh, I know this guy does this and this guy does. They're perfect, and you just bring them together and you do that intro. I do it. I like to connect with people. I like to network. Obviously, I like to talk. We're on this podcast, but like we have a group of guys that. I wouldn't say it's a networking thing, but it's your crew, like your team, like in
your squad.
Yeah, your squad.
Rat pack is what we like to call ourselves.
And you lean on those
The rat
guys.
pack,
Okay. So we do it in like
the Stunads.
The Stunads.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
You did.
Thank
yeah.
We do it in like
You
a
did.
smaller setting, but
Spot
I mean,
on.
it's amazing because like, just how can I help you? Like even it's not a transactional relationship. Like you give me one thing, like maybe I can help you now and you can't help me, but in the future, if you can, great. If not, then like, okay, like it's just.
Yeah. Bob was telling me about you for like 7 years. He's like my chiropractor, and he was, we were supposed to meet at that one of the career fair or benefits fairs.
Yeah.
And it was like a heart of COVID, and that didn't happen. But like when I met you at the Bears game like a month ago, he's like, yeah, finally you guys meet, and then I'm like, now I know why.
You're like, oh,
but he
really?
knew he was a connection catalyst for us.
Yeah, he was
because he saw both sides.
Yeah, and to touch on that, like the COVID thing, like I used to do so many in-person networking things, like when I worked in the city in 17 and 18, and then I branched off into Arlington Heights after. Like it was all like I went out, and that's how I built my sales. Like, and I was never. I mean, I communicated, I talked, but like there's a difference between going out into the public and not knowing the person and introducing yourself and communicating. Because again, they don't teach that in school. They don't teach, you can't just put up a sign and open the door and people walk in. It doesn't happen like that.
No.
And the game pivoted. It went from like in-person events to like stopping, and then everything was social media, and now it's still social media. And some people are bringing back these events and things like that, which to me, I'm a brick and mortar. I like to see people. I like to communicate. I'm very visual, like versus putting a video online or doing this. Like some people are great at that. I do it because we have to do it to stay relevant, whether it's tips and tricks or things like that. But I prefer to like have a conversation. How can I help you meet you? This is what I do. Great. You need anything cool? If not, catch you later.
Exactly.
Like, and it's just weird because the society now, especially the younger generation, they're not used to like going out to events and like actually like, hey, how you doing? Like when I met my wife, there was no like Tinder, there was no like connecting, there was nothing. It was like,
That was well
hey,
before
I'm Drew.
that. Was the internet around?
Yeah, the internet was around.
I'm kidding.
But like there was nothing. So it was like you had to like per se pitch yourself to your spouse, your significant other, because that's just
yeah.
I know what when people get that like anxiety or kind of stress, that feel, they're like nervous and they're like, they're like, oh man, and then once they feel comfortable, they loosen up. Like we have guests on the podcast like that. I'm like, they start off and I'm like, just relax
before
it's
the
fine.
cameras are on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before and then when the cameras are on, it's a different story.
Yeah, and it's just, I've always had that. I've been under that stress, and you kind of just, it's not stress anymore. It's just something different.
Yeah, we've all been there. I actually had an event in the summer called Campus to Career, Bridging Campus to Career. And it was a networking event built around high school kids and college kids. And we had, I think, 15 to 20 students that came out to Dave & Buster's in Schaumburg.
I love that, man.
And that's one of the venues that I do want to speak up. They just do a great job.
Yeah.
Courtney and Casey over there, they do a great job of welcoming and giving back to the community. And so that's why I have a lot of my events at Dave & Buster's.
Love that.
I feel like that's something we got to help you out with, because I feel like it's great what you're doing with, people that are in the workforce and connecting, and business owners and, employees. But I feel like these kids coming out of college, they don't know what to look for. They don't know how to, like, hey, I want to work for a company that has these values. They're usually, hey, who's going to pay me the most? Like, it's not always who's going to pay me the most, because you might be in a shitty situation, which we just talked about, and you're like, oh, this sucks. And then you're just a number. So I feel like that's a huge thing. Again, one of the reasons why we're doing this show is to teach people, educate them on wealth creation, being a business owner, being an employee, how to get better, how to grow your family, things like that. What can we do? And that says, how can we help you? Whether it's on our platform, coming out and speaking, is there anything that we can do?
Oh, definitely coming out and speaking. I think that I also support the cause. There's schools that I'm going to, like SIU down in Carbondale, the Saluki Entrepreneur Corps. I know the president there. I met him at the Hoffman Estates High School earlier this year. And he just inspires me, and he's just a person that I want to help support. I've driven down there, 7 hours, 6 hours.
Wow.
And you're a Purdue guy.
So. Yeah, I'm a Purdue guy. Well, I want to do what I'm doing there. I would love to do it at Purdue in addition, right? But I'm going to go path of least resistance with people that are ready to receive. This gentleman is a powerhouse, and he is ready to receive.
What's his name?
His name is Eric Galou.
Okay.
And he's a junior at SIU down in Carbondale. Really great guy, automotive student, minor in Japanese, man. He's just a beast.
Oh, wow.
He's a beast. He has his own business, too. He's a small business owner. So he's just somebody that he's going to be like watching this and he's
sure.
like, wow.
Can I ask you a question about him? Just and just comparing like your typical like student, like what makes him special compared to just somebody that just doesn't have that drive? Is it just hard work? Or, I mean, what's the difference that you see? Because as a father, that's got to be the greatest feeling, to have your kid go to school and have that drive. Mm-hmm. And it's applause to him to start a business when he's in college and to have that. And he's learning a lot of stuff as he's going through. But for me to do that, that means that they can take care of themselves. Like, what's the difference that you see? Is it the way kids are raised? Is it being lazy? Is it just misinformation they don't know, or they're not coached on, or just people don't care, or just there's so many people at the school that there's not enough people to help them? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know though the one factor, what the biggest factor is, but I would say the factors I would definitely say that are part of it: how they're raised, what's instilled, how are they empowered. I think knowing his family he grew up in, that's instilled in him, and he's just a workhorse. As far as what I see on the outside, what I saw from the beginning from him, he's a doer. There's talkers and doers.
Right. There's
givers and takers, but he's a doer. I actually have a group called Always Be Connecting Doers. It's a mastermind, but he's a doer. Like when he says he's going to do something, he does it, and he never makes excuses for that.
No matter how long it takes.
No matter how long it takes.
That's the drive you got to have.
He's the guy that says, "Hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow with the answer, Mr. Jones, no matter what, no matter where we're at." Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, "Oh wait, I don't want to call him because I got bad news." Right. No, I'm calling you with the bad news. Right. That's the way. So I mean, but he won this tools for the trade toolkit through Rotary Club of Schaumburg AM and PM in Schaumburg, that we give out toolkits.
Which those are not cheap. If any mechanic is watching the show, they know how much those.
They're like $5,000.
What's inside a toolkit? What?
Snap-ons, dude. You're talking 20, 30 grand. Yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, tools.
That's really generous.
And we have a lot of tradespeople that watch the show, from construction workers to union plumbers, electricians,
totally,
laborers, things like that.
So if any of them want to get involved in the Chicagoland area, I would love for them to talk to me. I have a lot of opportunities for people in the trades to give back, but also, finding them people to hire as well with the connections that I have. That as well as veterans. There's a lot of. I'm a part of a nonprofit called Giving Group. We give back to pets, vets, and kids, and that's been around for 4 years. And we're just a bunch of people that actually, without networking, Always Be Connecting wouldn't be around. Another organization I'm part of is called Village Networking, and then Giving Group. Those three would not be around without networking, and that's the power of it. And so it's almost like when you're just combining worlds. It's one thing to do business together, but when you could serve together, that's pretty powerful.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, before we kind of dive into that, I like that. I want to talk about your kids. You have one daughter?
Just one daughter.
Let's dive into her because I met her.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl, extremely respectful, and we'll talk about your wife too. What did you do, or what did you learn from your parents to help instill your daughter into being a young hard worker and I've only met her once.
Yeah.
And just the way she carries herself.
How old is she?
She's 16. She's going to be 16.
She's 16, but she acts like, she's in her early 20s. Like she's very confident. As fathers of daughters or sons, if you're listening, what are some things that we can do, or what are some things that you do that helped, instill those things? Is it you being the example? Is it constantly reminding or putting her in weird situations and making decisions, or how did you do that? Because I know you have a very soft spot about your daughter from just talking about Bob.
Yeah. So my parents, they were really, embracing me and empowering me to do what I love, and never making excuses, never giving. My dad always used to say, never let somebody leave the door open for somebody to, criticize you for stuff. Don't make excuses. Don't focus on what you can control. And even if you're having a bad day, don't let that affect the next conversation. If you don't have sometimes you don't have the right, the right resources, don't always complain about that. Just focus on what you could do and focus on that and solving that problem. And then also just really, come through on what you say you're going to do. Be a doer instead of just somebody who just talks about stuff. And so with my daughter, I would say my wife is probably more of the influence of empowering our daughter into who she is, because my wife is just when we go on vacation, she's got a itinerary, and she's like, boom, 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 boom. So what we're gonna do, and so what we're gonna do, and I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. We walk 10 miles a day on vacation and stuff like that.
Wow.
When we go places, it's awesome. Really cool. But it's laid out. It's and so my wife she's a hard worker, and I think she instilled that into our daughter, and then I'm more of just because what I like to do is bringing people together, and that's what I do just in general. Even on the weekends and stuff like that, we like hanging out with friends, and I think my daughter's very social as far as that goes, and so I think she's very she was talking to me about emotional intelligence 3 or 4 years ago when she was in junior high. I'm like, let's keep talking.
She's only 16.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, because I think the fact that EQ is being talked about in general, I love it, because it's how do you deal with things when they don't go your way? That's really what we need to focus on.
Critical
because
thinking.
They're not always going to go your way.
Right.
How are you going to solve your own problems? And so if you're solving problems for other people by asking and listening, well, they're solving their own problems. Actually, you're not solving it for them. You can actually solve your own problems. The critical thinking is huge.
Which I hope that's what this show does for people as you're listening.
We've talked about that in the past. Stuff's going to happen. And you have one or two roads you could take. You can either sit there and soak about it, so, just soak into your waters about it, or you can do something about it and talk to people.
Do you have
proactive
conversations with your daughter? Do you guys sit down and do you guys talk about business? You talk about your business. You talk about marketing. You talk about how to save. Do you do these things? Like I remember my parents, they taught me how to, balance a checkbook and do this stuff, which I feel like there's a lot of people that don't know how to do that stuff, basic things, or how to communicate. And like if your daughter gave us a situation, mine now are like, oh, this person's being mean to me. Okay, how do we handle it?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys have those conversations? Am I just the weird guy that does that?
No.
I mean,
some of the things my wife talks about with her, like friend situations and other things that she talks about,
or like a boy or whatever.
Or just people that are not welcoming sometimes.
A teacher, it could be whatever it is.
Oh yeah, we talk about all that, and like a lot of times it's in the car too. So it's like if we're on a car ride to Purdue, we like watching our Purdue games, and so we're on a long car ride. That's like usually like, hey, how do you have a conversation? Like, how are you so good at this? And I'm like, I was not always this good. And I'm not even that great. I'm always trying to get better, right?
Sure.
Always pick up from other people. And I'm like, man, that's a better way of saying that. Or, that's a better way to do it where I could be me, right? Mm-hmm. And so with her, I think that, especially at that age, everyone thinks that everyone's looking at them. Everyone thinks that they're not good enough. Everyone thinks that they're being judged, or how to even start a conversation. How do you transition? Mm-hmm. So I think the fact that she asks about it, that is curious about it, and is talking to her friends about. She has a good friends group, and also, she's a part of the nonprofit too. She's a junior ambassador there. Like, she does things that are light years ahead of what I do. And, at that age and even beyond, because she gets on the mic in front of 150, 200 people at a nonprofit event where I know a lot of these people because it's from networking. Right. And then she just doesn't miss a beat, and she's cracking jokes and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, because at her age, I'll be honest, the networking, the volunteer opportunities were as, out there. And I did the volunteer thing senior year of high school for the credits.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
She's a sophomore and just doing it because she wants to do it.
Big. I think that she sees you, man. I mean, I really do. I'm a firm believer, and you have to be an example for your kids. Yeah. And I think you're a great example, and I think she has the confidence because she sees her parents do that stuff. I want to ask you one more question about your daughter, and I always like to ask this to dads. What's the one thing that you want your daughter to remember you as when you pass? What's the one thing that she can say, hey, this was my dad?
That I wanted to see her win in everything, like everything. I wanted to see her win, and I understood what winning is to her, like in every regard, when it comes to personal, professional, everything, And I was where a lot of times that we could all get better at this, but sometimes they just want to tell you, and they don't want a solution.
Exactly.
And I think that's where I need to get to. I need to be better at that.
As a male, and I've had coaching on this, counseling on this. When my wife will tell me something, a lot of times she doesn't want the answer. Mm-hmm. She wants you to listen, process it. Yeah. As a business owner, somebody that's wanting to move forward, we're always looking for a solution. We're always trying to put out the fire. But in that case, I agree 100% with you. I got to get better with it, and I struggle sometimes and get better. But I think that's huge, and you're always growing.
Absolutely.
But do you feel like you have to give some sort of answer or some sort of solution or fix something? Is that what you feel like?
I feel like because I'm a business owner, and because there's constantly fires all day.
Right.
I'm either here. I try to train my team on critical thinking, for one. So what they'll do is they critically think. They know that I prefer that they try to figure out the situation or the problem. Not that they can't come to me, but I want to empower them to, instead of being like, hey, Doc, what do I do here? One, on a selfish side, that's going to eliminate my time, take away. Mm-hmm. Two, I'm going to give back to them and giving them sort of buy-in to the situation of business.
Right.
And then a lot of times what they'll do is, hey, Doc, this is what happened. This is what I did. And this is what happened. Or this is what I did. What should I do now? Or this is what's happening. We can do this or do this. Which one's better? And then once they have gone through that situation, they already critically know how to think and do it again if it happens again.
Right.
And I try to do that with my kids, and try to be like, hey, if this happens, this is what we got to do. Or, hey, this happened again. Remember what mom and dad told you to do or how to do it here? And just build that critical thinking, because a lot of people that our employees, the first thing is they're just, oh, here's a problem. Then they send it up to, management. What should we do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And your management, they don't want to respond back with what you should do. They want you to critically think. And not that, I'm sure there are managements where they don't, they're like, whatever. But, you want to be able to critically think. That's one thing that's going to make you an asset, especially if you're an employee. If this person can critically think, because again, that's just life. Like it's not just in business.
Yeah.
Something happens in life. This happens, or somebody gets sick. What do we have to do? How do you have to pivot? And it's tough with your wife because it's tough to turn off that business, or it's tough to take the hat off of, hey, I'm here, but then I'm home, I'm dad, and communicate. It's harder for me with my wife because, especially a lot of people, if you're listening and you're just starting out in business, you're a young entrepreneur, you are in grind mode. Yeah. And so to turn it off, it's very difficult. Even now, like it's super hard to turn it off because my mind is always, hey, what can I do better? How can I be better? How am I serving my people? Am my employees happy? Yeah. Is this situation good? And then there'll be times where like there's no fires and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Something's wrong.
Like,
something's wrong
this
here.
This is not normal. Yeah. Like, and just, I tell people all the time, like, you have to just be comfortable with the chaos. Yeah. And it's not chaos in the sense of you might think it's chaos, but it's just normal problems that happen every day or whatever it is. I mean, from anything you could think of, an employee not showing up to, there's, drama here, like whatever it is. And the more, like we talked about before, you set the foundation and expectations, you eliminate that. But as a business owner, when I started off, I had no clue. And so those pitfalls are things that I want you guys that are listening or watching to understand, to put those things in play, especially. But I'm going to talk about your wife now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because this is the part of the show where you got to be careful what you say.
Since we're on that topic, then I want to go back to the organization too.
Sure.
We always talk, as you've watched, to business owners, and one of the things that they always say is how important their spouses or significant other. And I'm a testament to that because I couldn't do my role, or I couldn't have the energy or drive, because there's times where you're just beat down and you're questioning yourself. Can I do this? Can I not do this? How much of an influence has your wife been? Obviously, like you guys calculated risk, started your own business. Yeah. It's a team effort. Just from meeting her, very selfless, very take the shit off your back. And just from talking to you now, very inspiring, with her daughter. And I wouldn't even say just with her daughter, just as a person in general, like, tell me about your wife. I want to know how she's been a catalyst, okay, to not only your relationship with your family, but your relationship in business and being able to be your coach at home.
Yeah, she is very, selfless, big time. Like, she always thinks about other people first, and that's huge. So, I mean, like, in order to network as much as I do, even when I had my insurance agency, like, I need somebody to, she was, do extra things that, like, relieved my duties, with our daughter and stuff like that. But also just in general, she is a great, listener. A lot of things when you get home, when you're a small business owner, you're like, why am I doing this? Why did I leave corporate America?
That's the question. How's your day?
Yeah.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Where do I start? How much time do you have?
Exactly. So, I mean, there's times like she works from home every now and then, like 3 days a week. So when I come home throughout the day, I complain about a lot of things. I vent to her about a lot of things, and I bounce a lot of ideas off of her. And I say, hey, well, what about this? Or what if I did this? Or how does this look? Or, so she gives me honest feedback, stuff that I need to hear. But a lot of times, she does practice this a lot, where she's like, she doesn't come up with solutions. And I'm not looking. I'm just looking for her to just hear it out. Whereas she gets a lot of the brunt of the complaining about different things. Yeah. And that's actually what inspired me to leave corporate America, is when I was complaining about, my last boss. I'm like, man, blah, blah, blah. She's like, why are you still there? Like, you should just leave. And then, so it was kind of her thing of, like, you should just do it. Yeah. And she gave me the confidence and the green light to actually do it. Like, because partnership, you need to make sure, like, hey, are we good if this doesn't go well?
We're all bought in. Yeah, we're all bought in.
And even with Always Be Connecting, that's a whole other thing. I mean, when I sold my insurance agency 2 years ago, and now I'm just doing Always Be Connecting, well, that's insurance was, I thought that was like risky. This is a situation that's really nobody knows what a networking coach is, right?
Right.
And so if this doesn't work, then what? Okay, so but she gave me the an extra opportunity to say, yeah, just keep going, like keep doing what you're doing, and encouraging me to be me and follow what I love doing, even if it doesn't, make as much money. Money's not everything. You got to make a certain amount, of course.
Sure.
But she has that approach of like, just,
do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. And she's also the one in our family that's like, she's the saver. She knows how to save money in the right ways, and just has that mentality of like, it's so easy to just spend money on different things.
Very easy. Of course.
But she's just, I think, I don't know if that's the way she was brought up, but she's just really good when it comes to stuff like that, and the value of what money is. Like if we go on this trip or all that, it's what is that? Like, what are we doing? And I think that our daughter knows that value as well, but it keeps us grounded. And so she's just that person that I can always just call if I had a bad day, like even the day's not over, and I got an extra like event that I need to go to. I'm like, man,
she's a fire.
This is terrible. And she's almost like an extra voice of reason in my head.
Do you think you would have, or how long do you think you would have stayed at that job if she didn't push you or give you the spark?
I probably would have been there at least 3 or 4 more years, or still there right now.
Yeah. Do you feel like you needed to have her approval? I mean, I know we talk about being a team, everyone's on board, but did you feel like what if she said the opposite? She's like, hey, no, we should stay here.
I feel like I would have stayed because I almost needed her for the confidence.
Yeah.
Not just like,
I'm with you too.
Not just the money. I'm just talking about the confidence of the thing that I still go back to.
Somebody to believe in you.
It's not just the risk. It's she said calculated risk.
Right.
So when she said calculated risk, it's like,
we thought this through.
You're not like a 7'8" dude shooting a 3.
Right.
You're 6'6" and you're shooting a 3. Like you're a good 3-point shooter. Mm-hmm. So that's a risk, right?
Yeah.
But so it's calculated risk. That's and she meant to say that on purpose, specifically to make it a point, like saying like, what you're doing. It's just doing your own thing.
Right.
I think that doesn't go away. I think every business owner always questions themselves in the back of their head, like this could go under, this could end tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's always a running thought in your head that something can go south. And at least for my wife, she's always that no matter what, we'll figure it out, stay calm, we'll pivot. She's always that for me, because I always like, it just, your emotions get to you sometimes. Sometimes you have bad weeks, or, you got bad months, and you're like, fuck, what am I doing? Like, this is so exhausting. And I feel like it's a constant thing. And if I didn't have that, it's almost like they're your cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
They're in your corner. Like, that's your coach. And like, for me, like, it's huge. I feel like I want to just tell people how important that is to, one, if you have somebody that is on the other end that's not encouraging, you should definitely get out of that situation. But 2, when you have that person that believes in you and they have the confidence in you, like, dude, at least for me, like, knowing that my spouse has the confidence in me, like, I'll go above and beyond, do whatever I take, because I don't want to let you down.
Exactly right.
I don't want to let you down because you believe in me.
Yeah.
And if I don't achieve that, then I failed you.
Yep.
And maybe that's a masculine thing or whatever, but I feel like even like my grandparents, like, just, you can do it. Like, they could have given me things. Mm-hmm. No, you can do it. You could figure it out. They were immigrants. Like, they figured it out. Like, and I feel like as a parent now, like, that's so huge, because if somebody just gave me something or somebody paid for this, I would not have the value. I would not have the knowledge as far as the hard knocks that took me to get there and do that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that really builds like a catalyst, or like a callus per se, like, to be better or instill in your kids, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that 100%. With like the risk, like, kind of piggybacking off of that, like, how do you market? Like, how do you find new people to, I mean, I guess networking, everyone's talking, right? So that's definitely, word of mouth is huge, but like, is there things that you've seen that works or doesn't work in your marketing routine or game?
Yeah, there's stuff. I mean, I throw my stuff on Eventbrite. Eventbrite works.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, and that I hadn't been doing.
Okay.
As far as extra referral groups and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so I do that. But I also I have people on in my squad, as I call them. They're called ABC Squad Boosters.
Yeah.
And people that are just people that we have partnerships, right? Where they're they have their own company.
Yeah.
But they wear my T-shirts, they wear my hats, and they're like, you should come to Ragu's events.
Yeah. You
should come to ABC events. You should. And they're not just inviting everybody.
Right.
They're inviting the people that actually would add value, add to the pie.
Yeah.
And so we're not
quality.
Quality over quantity.
Right.
And it's great because they are the people I would wish I had 10 of them, 10 more of them.
Right.
And so that's what happens. And they're people that like there's people that network more than me. Mm-hmm. And they're killing it. And so like Nicole Wozniak, she's helped me big time this year. And so she's somebody that's helped me a lot.
Nice.
Growing my network, and that helps. So it's finding partners.
Okay.
Right. Also finding other groups that are having issues.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We could use your help. So I took over a group that I originally was a part of a long time ago, and they're like, you know what, we're dwindling, and I'm like, well, what do you need help with?
Yeah.
They're like, well, we need help with energy in the group, consistency of the meetings, and holding people accountable. I'm like, well, that's something that works well in my groups, so we'll just add it to the team of groups and incorporate it that way. So it's almost like I never thought I would acquire.
Yeah, right.
So I technically acquired a group.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That's interesting.
I got a 2-part question here because I want to make this a point for everyone that's listening and viewing. Explain to me how it feels. Okay, we're going to start with family. Explain to me how it feels, like you were saying, like the scales are tipped in your time with starting a business and your wife having to take more care of like your daughter goes to things. How'd that make you feel? Did you have a little bit of remorse or regret or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, guilt. Guilt. Yeah, guilt.
And the reason why I bring that up is because I feel like a lot of people feel that way. And unfortunately, in business, the scales have to be tipped sometimes. Now, in the beginning, they're going to be tipped on you're going to be working more on the business because you have to, and you're going to lose out on stuff. Mm-hmm. Eventually, they become more balanced. But I want to make it a point. It's normal to feel that way, guys. If you feel like you're guilty, you're not here, everybody does. I feel like if I can't make an event for my kids, I feel terrible. But I know I go back to I have to do this to be able to provide for them, take care of my team, because there's not just my kids that are counting on me. It's the team. It's the people I work for or work with and stuff like that. And I want to make it a point that people realize that what they're feeling is normal, but you have to do that in order to be able to grow and succeed because the guy next to you is doing that.
Absolutely.
And it's just part of being a business owner. It's part of going on your own. It's part of being an entrepreneur. It's one of the negative things that happens. But with that being said there is value in that because you're helping yourself, you're helping your family, even if you're losing that time per se. Mm-hmm. And it's a tough thing. So I wanted to make that the point. The second thing I want to make a point is, which kind of leads into it, as a business owner, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, about being a dad or being a husband, just on and off with work. What Paulo is asking you with how you're getting people to come to your events, it's a 24/7 game. Mm-hmm. You're always on your phone. You're always texting. Mm-hmm. That's why it's difficult to turn off and be a dad.
Yeah,
it is.
Because at the end of the day, your business is your baby and it's thriving to provide. So you having to balance that is something that's something I want you to explain, like, because you're always constantly on the ball. I remember when we first got introduced and you texted me, I'm like, man, this guy's just constantly, he's just quick. But you have to be, because in business, somebody else is going to be there.
Yeah, there's people quicker than me. So I want to find them, right? I want to work with them with the right mentalities and all that. So I'm going to use an example, though. This just happened where I was able to take what I'm good at and always being on and use it for good at home. So my daughter, she's a part of a business club at her high school, and she needed to interview 3 business owners on, like, the business, but also, eco-friendly products. And I was able to introduce her to 3 of my buddies.
Wow.
They're my buddies, but but they are real business owners. One has 80 employees. The other one has, 12, and the other one has 8. And all 3 of those interviews, which happened like in the last 2 weeks.
Nice.
And my daughter, and there's 2 other girls in her group, her friends, and they're like, wow, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And it was cool to use my network for those interviews because, it's not easy to get that. And so, and she was just so like, grateful about, that I could do that. But also she was so impressed with the people that I know.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, Tony's so nice, and Melissa's great, and Dan, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know this about, and it's so cool. And then she knows like one of them, and one of them we unfortunately used his services for our house this year, but she's like, oh yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to have that, almost like use that power that I do.
I like that.
For
that's,
good.
Yeah, that's why that's the payoff, man. Being able to give back to your kids, because again, the connections that you're making, those are also your daughter's connections. And the community that you build, like I can guarantee you call one of the people in your pipeline, they have no problem with helping your daughter, stopping what they're doing whatever. Like, because I would hope that on the other, vice versa.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So God. That's so cool because it's something that it's the long game.
Mm-hmm.
The short game sucks and it's exhausting and your work-life balance sucks, relationships are tough. It is what it is. There's no bullshit. There's no easy way around it. You are going to be scales tipped. Your marriage is going to be tough. You're going to be pushed in situations. Both people got to be present. But the payoff is the long game.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the short game because, and again,
kids are going to be asking about you. They're going to say, when's Dad coming home? Or what's he up to? Or why can't he make it to this? And you just got to let them know that this is temporary, but it's for
and tell them what you're doing. Daddy's going here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Daddy's going to work. Daddy's going here. Daddy's going to the gym.
Yep.
And just explain because they know what's going on.
Totally.
Yeah.
I do. I like the 4 or 5 o'clock call when I call her. No matter where I'm at, if I'm going to an event, I'm like, hey, just like, how did it go today, and what
checking in on you.
Oh, I'm gonna miss the Purdue game tonight. Let me know.
Yeah.
Text me.
Yeah.
While if there's good stuff happening, don't text me if there's bad stuff.
Yeah,
happening.
I don't want to hear about
it.
And
I don't want to hear about it. But it's just like, and because she's got opinions on different things, and
sure.
I'll put her knowledge up against in football and especially Purdue basketball, college basketball against anybody, because she's really into it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the game. I love Purdue basketball, but she really loves it. And her and I have been to, in the last 4 years, we've been to almost 14 or 15 games.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like 7 different stadiums. It's pretty cool.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, that's our thing. So
it sounds like you got a great relationship with her.
Oh yeah, we have fun. That's our favorite thing to do. And then, even though my wife went there, she doesn't really care about going to the games.
Sure.
So, but she has her other things, and like other things that we do, like vacations and stuff like that.
But makes her buzz.
Yeah.
Let's go over. Exactly. I want to go over like your standard operating procedure for like an event. Like, take me through an itinerary of like a typical event.
Yeah.
And then I also want to know, like, you mentioned masterminds. Do you have are these higher scale networking events on every quarter? Are you touching on the same things, the itinerary every week, or what are the things that you do? What's your system as far as broken down into quarterly and monthly and then weekly as far as what you're doing?
Got it.
And then on a day-to-day basis at the event.
Yeah. So let's just start with the event. So an event, say it goes from 12 to 2. The first half hour, actually the first 45 minutes is just open networking.
Meet and greet.
Yeah.
There's somebody at the check-in table, usually people that are ABC squad boosters, people that are volunteers for me. And then I'm just roaming. I'm a free safety. I'm roaming, right?
Free safety, I like that.
And I'm just like...
You're putting people in situations.
Putting situations, setting and forgetting, and just moving around the room, being a connection catalyst.
Yeah.
And so that in the middle, and that's what happens. So like that's the majority of it. In the middle, what I like to do is get people together, we get in a circle, and we talk about who's in the room.
Yeah.
You just give everyone a chance to say, your name, who you are, and why you do it.
Okay.
Like who you are and why you do it. That's what do you do and why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the why is huge. The people's stories. So we don't spend they don't talk for like 2 minutes or anything like that. It's literally like 15, 20 seconds, just so they know who's in the room.
Right.
Because have you ever been to an event where you're like, man, I should have met Drew, and he's gone already.
Right.
Like, it's too late. And or you're like, oh, I didn't even know that realtor was here. I didn't know there were realtors here, and you were looking for realtors.
Yeah.
So, but that's the identification of the room. And then I like to thank the sponsors. So the food, the people that are bringing the food, it's usually local vendors that were bringing the food. And then we like to thank the sponsors. Like usually I have 1 or 2 sponsors per event, and they get to talk for 3 or 4 minutes about their why and their story. And I help them if they don't already like know how to get that across. Yeah. Most of them do, but if they don't, that's what I help people with. So why wouldn't I help a sponsor sponsoring my event get that message across?
To do that. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's always social media shout outs before the event for them and or after. So it's
Good.
Before or after. Yeah. Just to recognize people who's coming and who's
show appreciation.
Yeah, appreciation. And then, and then at the end of the event, it's just a slow victory formation type of nothing crazy going on, but it's just, people, sometimes they stay more than 2 hours because the venue doesn't care right, if they stay longer, but that's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So the 90% of the event is networking. It's power of the networking, and people, I'll keep running that play until it doesn't work anymore, but it keeps working, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and it's new energy. The data on that is usually 20 to 30% new people every single time, which is beautiful.
That's great.
And so I'm not going to change much.
Right.
And I attract the right people, or I've been lucky to attract the right people and all that. And then that's the networking events. And then the masterminds that runs once a month, usually 5 to 7 people that are members of the group. We meet for 2 hours in person. Again, it's only in person. We talk about high-level strategy, a lot of stuff that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But as business owners, like what keeps them up at night? And how do you solve those issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
The $10,000 ideas.
I want to know what a common nightmare that keeps you up at night for these business owners that you typically see in these masterminds.
I think that how do they scale up is one. Like they're one-person operation, and how do they make that first hire? How do they let go, right? They're operating at 100% efficiency, and then if they put somebody else on the phone with that client, are they okay with 80%?
Yeah,
80%.
Well, how do they delegate? Because they're like, oh, that's a lead. That's $5,000.
Yep.
Am I willing to risk $5,000 because this person? Well, are your systems right? Did you teach the person? I get it.
Yeah, a very close second to that is staffing.
How to
retain, and what to pay, compensate, and all that. Everyone wants, everyone who's a superstar,
right?
But the superstar doesn't care about what they have as far as the whole package goes. And so, how do you attract the right talent? Especially when you're keep it.
That's the hardest part.
Keep it.
The hardest part is keeping it.
Yep.
You can get the hot and the hard talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hardest part is keeping it.
Mm-hmm. So those are the things. Yeah, those are the 2 things that come up the most. I have people that come in and talk about different subjects, different speakers that come in, like leaders in the community. Kim talked about scaling up. Another one talked about AI. Another one talked about candid conversations with employees, how to have candid conversations, like real candid conversations with people in the right way. And then, so another one talked about time management. And so this is real shit, man.
This is real stuff.
I like those topics. How does someone, do they sign up online or do they?
Yeah. So you can go online on my website, alwaysbeconnecting.net for networking.
Love that.
Basically, that one, so then there's referral groups and masterminds. All the referral groups and masterminds have the times listed on there. If you click on Learn More, it'll go to the Eventbrite. It'll show which positions are taken for the referral groups. But for the Always Be Connecting Doers Mastermind, it'll send me an email and then let me know, because that's more focused. I want to feel people out and let them know, hey, this is what to expect. Is this right for you?
Yeah.
Anyone can come check it out as a guest for free.
Okay.
They are membership based, because we do want continuity. We do want the same people, no more than 7 people in those masterminds, because then you do your introductions and it's going to take a half hour.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
Too many people in it.
You said,
and the discussions are pretty
high level.
Yeah.
You said alwaysbeconnecting.net. I know what's on Drew's mind right now is, can you see if abc.net is available And I'm sure it absolutely is not available.
I'm sure it is not available.
We had a conversation today about something like that. And yeah, domain names are fun.
They are. Because I originally wanted alwaysbeconnecting.com, but that wasn't available.
Sure.
And it was like $1,500. I'm like,
that's insane.
But then they're like,
insane.
oh, net is available. I'm like, actually, net for networking. Why not?
That
And that's
works.
free. So let's do that. And
Yeah.
now I'll just, I need to do more through the air. I know that.
Yeah.
So, and through SEO and meta ads and all that other stuff. And
yeah.
that's the scaling up part that I need to work on.
Right.
But I'm just a ground game, and that's the way I operate.
You gotta delegate it, man.
It's working so far. Oh yeah, I'm going to. I have to find the right people.
Right.
I've attracted some of the right people, and it just comes down to, do they have the right bandwidth?
Can they keep up with you?
Yeah. Well, and I know there's a couple definitely who can, and they will. And so that's what we're talking about. It's all about collaboration. I always talk about collaborate to elevate. We collaborate to elevate each other, right?
I like that.
So
masterminds, do you have like a keynote, like once a year, like a one-off, like big party that you do or what else do you do?
It's kind of funny that you bring that up, because collaborate to elevate is the name of my keynote. So that's why I said that. I just had it about a month ago. That was the second one I've done. The first one I did was earlier this year. Former Chicago Bears player, Desmond Clark, came out and spoke about the principles of winning, 5 principles of winning. And everyone got a signed copy of his book. It's a leadership. So it's about leadership mostly, right? These talks. And it was great. That was a well-attended event. I had my second one about a month ago. And that one was me talking about how to give and receive effectively. And but the name of the actual event series is called Collaborate to Elevate. My next one is February 4th at Reiki Interiors in Elgin, Illinois. And the owner of Reiki Interior, one of the owners, is Melissa Dotson. She is the author of Elevate Your Greatness. Can't even make that up. Like Collaborate to Elevate Your Greatness. She's the author of it, but she's going to be talking about some of the principles in that book that she just launched about a month ago. And that's February 4th. So I'm looking forward to that one too. That one's the next keynote. Next year, I'm hoping to have 3 more. So go to 4 a year. The goal was this year to do 2, next year to do 4, and maybe more than that, but minimum 4. So
what's the end game? What's like you feel like you hit the top, like for your company? What's like your vision of, okay, we made it? Like I know obviously you're never going to be satisfied.
Yeah.
But what's your long-term vision? Where do you want the company to go? I mean, I know you think about it.
It's when I can say I went from a founder to a CEO. And right now I'm a founder. When I go to a CEO, when I can get to the back of the room, but still do some of the stuff I'm doing, because I love doing that. I love, running groups, and I love doing that, but I don't do every single one. And I don't do every single, I don't put on every single event, but I can, or I can attend some, right?
Sure.
But I have people in place that believe in the vision, that are our key owners in the organization, like give up some equity, that's fine with me. I would love that. Yeah. And collaboration. I actually collaborate. So another company that I run, Village Networking, I think I mentioned that before. That's one of the other companies that's going really, really well. But I also collaborate with people like Matt and Michelle Sherritt from Windy City Business Network. And they're just great people. They attract the right people. And so that's what I do. So, but I think that's the vision is just expand on these referral and these masterminds, but also expand on these networking events to places where I have brand ambassadors and people that can take it and run with it even farther than I can. Yeah. So it's almost like going younger, getting somebody who's a junior in college right now to build an ABC group at his, at his campus, and give back in communities. And maybe at the campuses, ABC is free. All the groups are free, but it's really helped the kids, the students, be the live version of LinkedIn, so they can be themselves and get the right internship. And that's what really
put themselves in the right place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know how to become a CEO? Have you reverse engineered that plan, or are there still things that you don't know?
There's a lot of things I don't know.
And do you have a coach that coaches you?
I do have a couple coaches that coach me. that I'm working on that, and we're going through some of the stuff. But it's early. It's really early. So I'm at that phase right now.
What are some of those challenges that you bring up to them?
Delegation, for sure. Because I know that delegation automation.
Yeah.
That's one of them. That's probably one of the biggest thing. Saying no to things. Where is every opportunity a good opportunity for me? And that's how do I say no, like in different ways, and actually how do I even evaluate in a better way is this the best?
Sure.
Let's take a look at what I did this year. Sure, I've said yes to everything there.
Right.
There's probably some stuff that I shouldn't have done.
Right.
Right. Let's look at my Outlook calendar.
Look at a high level.
Yeah, at a high level, and say, look, how much time, how many hours could I've gotten back, and could somebody else have done that for me?
Right.
Right. Take a look at every task I've done.
Freeze your plate up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it kind of makes you just take a step back and look at these future invites or whatever that comes. Like, is this similar to what I had over here? Do I need to do that?
Exactly.
And you hate to turn things down starting off.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you don't want to.
Especially when I'm,
Yeah.
You get FOMO, I'm sure. It's just.
Yeah. Delegation was tough for me. I mean, it's a tough thing to trust somebody because you can do the job, but your bandwidth is limited.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's an Achilles heel per se for a lot of business owners. They have such a great product or such a great business, but they can't delegate because of the fear of not having that control. It comes down to like a control thing.
Totally.
And I see that a lot with the consulting that I do. And it's like you could tell them till they're blue in the face, but they eventually just have to take the jump because they're limiting their success. And I always tell them, you're not just limiting your success, you're limiting the people that you can help and the people that you can have work for you and that you can help their families. And if you switch the role of like, okay, fuck it, man, I got to get over my anxiety and stress because helping other people and being able to create jobs is way more important than my stress.
Totally.
Like you got to put yourself.
It's a tough one to think though. Like that's the first thing you're thinking of when you're taking the jump. But I hear you.
You got to take a step back and pivot the mindset.
Sure.
And think of it. Okay, what happens if, just like you said with your wife, what happens if I don't take this jump? What happens if I do take the jump? If I do take the jump and we fail, okay, we're back to where we were. If I don't, we're going to stay in the same spot. So let's do a calculated risk, have a game plan, reverse engineer it, and figure out a plan. It's tough to get people over that hump.
How long have you had ABC?
4 years in this January.
4 years. Congrats. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
Dude.
They say when you're in business for 7 years, your businesses can last forever.
Ooh, 3 more years.
Wow. Almost there.
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know what the data is on it.
And
but
who is they? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, give me the report. I want to see the data.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve that you've probably seen time after time when you're either talking to certain people? It's like you see patterns. Is like what's something that kind of irks you a little bit?
When people just don't follow through on stuff. They say they're going to do something, or they say they talk about something they're going to come through on, and they just don't come through on.
Let you down.
Like what?
They let you down.
They let you down.
They let you down. They let themselves down, actually.
Yeah.
They're actually letting themselves down more than anybody else because they're letting her reputation down because they have a reputation now. And because if you say you're out networking,
your word is everything.
Yeah. It's just and unfortunately it's a pattern. It's a pattern that probably will lead to their personal life too.
Yeah.
It just if you're not following through on one thing, it probably is going to be it's going to eventually leak into your
how
other.
You do one thing is how you do everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of my. I know it's simple, but
it's a good call out. I mean, do you recognize that, and do you tell them like, hey, look, you're not following through on this, and it's going to lead to that, this, and that, or do you not even
awkward situation?
Yeah, like
it depends. It depends on who they are.
Sure.
If there's somebody in my squad that wants the feedback, I give it to them because I'm like, I would want the same thing. I was like, hey, you're not being ready to receive right now.
Yeah.
You said you were going to do this, and then in order to get that, do you really want that?
Right.
Let's just not worry about what you didn't do, but do you really want that?
That end goal, that thing right there.
Yeah.
That's a friend. Or I say it in a different way. Man. That's a friend.
I say it in a different way. I'm like, man, that's not like you.
Oh,
it's
man.
really not like you.
And that's like I don't want to say like almost like the empathetic kind of response,
It
right?
is.
Because it's not like, you idiot, what are you doing? Like, it's kind of like, come on, man, you're better than that.
Yes.
Let's get back on the sword. You're lifted.
That's what a leader
does.
Yeah.
That's what a leader does.
Yeah. It's not like you, man. That's not like you. I thought
on.
Better than
you're
that.
way better than that. You're a beast. Like, that's not,
I love that.
It's almost like you give them a little bit of like sugar with the spice.
Yeah.
You know, like you show them that, hey, you are disappointed without saying you're disappointed. And you have the expectation of, this is your standard. I'm not, the standard that you have, I'm just telling you that you're not living up to it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling it because I care about you.
Yeah.
In a polite way to encourage you. And I want people to do that for me, because if I'm doing something wrong and I could be doing it better, whether if it's being a dad, being a friend, being an employer,
business partner,
coach, whatever.
Exactly.
You know, like,
yeah,
I want to know.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to win. And
we keep each other in check.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we have to be like on the same page. Hey, Drew, dude, you could have handled that better. Or, hey, you could have said this better. And he does the same thing with me.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, like, are you sleeping over there? I'm like, yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning. I have to but yeah.
Dude, if you don't, then you're just like lying to yourself, lying to people, and like creating a false reality.
It doesn't
And
help.
like, that's not
That
like,
doesn't help.
that, neither person's going to grow.
Yeah.
And if you really cared about somebody, like, you're going to tell them in a polite, professional way where you're going to get your point across, and not say, hey, you're, just yelling at them.
Yeah.
And
so I could give you like the example of like, why it's a pet peeve too. It wasn't that big of a deal, but when you work with people, like, you're on the same page, like Jordan and Pippen, that's who you are, right?
Dude, greatness happens, man.
Greatness happens, and you're spoiled by that. You're spoiled by that relationship.
Yeah.
So with Village Networking, I have that with Jason Stellard, Steve Long, and Courtney Burton. With those three, we're all on the same page. We're texting each other throughout the week.
Yeah.
So when we meet once a month, we're like, this is just gradual. We already know what we're doing. I have another partner in crime, Dr. Michelle Morkert. She's a women's leadership coach. She's a beast. She talks about inner critic and imposter syndrome. She's the one when we go to schools and we go just coach people in general on the confidence. It's called Confidence for Connectors. That's the program that we've developed, and we've been doing it for 2 years. We take it to schools, we take it to business owners, and it's just great. So that's when you have somebody that you work with that, and you're like, then you see something different, and people don't follow through. You're like, man,
I can't stand it, man. Like, I'm gonna go off, and the guys, people are listening. You have to have a fucking standard of excellence. If you're not on my wavelength and you're not on that standard of excellence, I'm not going to do business with you. I'm not going to work with you, because the energy that I'm putting out, you're going to know it's the top, it's the best. I'm going to make sure if I'm committed, I'm going to be dialed in, and I'm going to give you my all. There's no failing.
No.
And if I say I'm going to do something, that's my pride and my word.
Yeah.
And when you don't execute on that, you're wasting other people's time and energy, because they're looking to grow. And when it's weird, because it's like you're a magnet to these people. And then once you get these magnets, it's like, dude, it's the best feeling. Like, when I know that I don't have to worry about follow-upping with somebody or checking in on somebody because I know I just said it one time and they get the job done.
Yeah.
Dude, like, and that's whether it's with employees or whether it's with friends or business people, like, you get so much more done.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
And it's a standard of excellence. And if it, like you said, it bleeds through your entire life, your home life, your relationships, everything.
Totally.
Right? Like, standard of excellence. And if you have that with everything, people are going to see that and they're going to be like, man, Ragu gets all this shit done. How does he do it? Because no matter what, this is his standard, and he's not going to deviate from that. This is what he's expected to do in his mind, and he's not going to let his friends down, his business colleagues, his partners down.
Yeah.
Because he takes pride in his work, and he takes pride in his relationship with his daughter, pride in his relationship with his wife, pride with his friends. He takes pride in being able to help people networking.
Yeah.
And it's tough to find those people, man.
And it shines.
Because
it shows.
a lot of people will be like, oh, fuck it. Like, it's because it takes a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it does.
It's a lot of energy.
It's a grind.
Yeah. And that's why I say you're on the ball all the time, constantly.
Here's a question for you. 4 years with ABC, right? What's a question we ask all of our guests? You are familiar with Stunads. We talked about what a Stunad is. What are some Stunad moments that you've kind of run across throughout your time? Like, why did I say that? Or why did I do it this way? Or I wish I would have done it a different way. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
Be it with your your family. It could be with business.
Yeah, you're
could be
talking
with
about
yourself too. Telling yourself one thing.
I mean, you're talking about doing things or saying things.
Whatever.
Or.
Yeah.
I think like one of the networking events I had, I'm all about movement. Like literal movement in a networking event. And
what did you call yourself? You said you're
Connection Catalyst.
Connection Catalyst.
So what happened was the venue, I should have like asked them to do high tops.
Okay.
And they did all low top tables.
No one was sitting down.
Everyone was sitting down.
Oh,
so like
no
people got the
moving.
food, everyone sat down, no one's moving.
Yeah.
So it's like,
fuck.
It was painful. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
And like I just had to like start, encouraging them to, hey, like it's okay. Sorry about that. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't because it's easy to get comfortable in a conversation with people and all that.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest ones because it gives me anxiety when people are not like engaging as much as they can. That's that's why we're here. They can do that on a Saturday night with their friends.
Right.
Go hang out at Illuminati's and sit at a table like that. Why are they doing it here? Or like, you know what I mean?
Was that early on then?
Yeah, that was early on.
And then you're like,
high
always,
tops.
Hey,
high tops
we need
here.
high tops.
And you do need low tops too for people that want to sit down or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they really want to sit down.
But those high tops really help out with the interactivity.
It helps with energy.
Yeah.
It helps with everything. It helps with welcoming because when you have a circular table that's a high top, everyone's standing and that introvert that might come in, it makes them feel more welcome, like that they can go there, right?
Yeah.
Versus I don't want that, because I can't get to everyone.
Oh, it's
it's impossible for me to get to everyone.
Yeah.
But I have like 3 or 4 people at every event. They're like, I trust them. They're gonna help me get to everyone.
Yes.
And that's what it is. And it's normalizing. Somebody said the other night at one of my events, she's like, you're normalizing, introducing people to each other and going to the next two and blah blah blah. And I love how you do that. You make it feel comfortable and make it feel natural.
Okay.
And I'm like, because I really like to look at my testimonials and really drill down deeper on that. I love literally the verbiage, the terms people are using, and I like the psychology behind it because if they feel like that, then and that's value to them, well, there's probably other people that feel or want to feel the same way. So I'll just kind of go deeper on that. It's almost like they're giving me extra plays to run.
You're listening.
Yeah,
that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
I used to go to networking events, and one of the things that they wouldn't allow is you couldn't have your phone. If you were on your phone, they would just ask you to leave. Do you do that, or do you? Because a lot of people, and I've been to networking events where they're on their phone. It's like, dude, like I'm not going to go up to you. I can tell you're on your phone. I want to, but I hate that. When people aren't engaged, like you can't just come in an hour and be engaged. Yeah. Be dialed in.
I don't have that happen that much, but and I'm not a good example for this either because the reason is when I'm on my phone and I'm meeting with you, I'm literally pulling up when we can meet up. Like, hey, let's remember when we met at the Bears game and you're like, let's meet up for some time. So I don't know if we did this there, but I was like, actually, with your buddy, Derek.
Yeah.
I was like, what's your number? And he said, and we took the picture and then he got my cell or whatever. And, we did it and did that. Well, that was getting our phones out, but phones for a purpose of where we're at. Yeah. That's good. It's almost like being on the phone numbers. It's like sales. If you're talking to somebody that you're trying to sell and you're taking notes or you're trying to put something in your phone, you're telling them why you're doing it. You're like, hey, this is for you. Like, I'm literally typing up an intro to help you right now. That's all we're doing. So for that's great. But I think that I don't see it too much where people are on their phones. Not in my events.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, and I've been lucky to go to events from the start in this area that created.
People want to be there.
People want to be there, engaged. It's great.
Do you do like a debrief with your team after on the events, or how do you debrief, analyze? Okay, what went good, what went bad, what can we fix?
It's kind of funny. We like Village, we have a monthly meeting, a debrief, or even right after we have a just a meeting, quick meeting before we leave.
Yeah,
and we talk about what went well, what good, bad, and ugly. And then my other networking events, the Connection Catalyst ones, I just call Nicole or Jahira, and I'm like, hey, how did it go? Like, what do you think? Like, boom, and then they tell me, oh, you should have met this person, blah blah blah, or you know what, it would have been better if they put this food on this side because everyone just went to that side and it was right by the door. I was like, yeah, you're right. That's a good idea. Like next time we'll do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you send, I know we talk about surveys. Do you send out like anonymous surveys to the people who have come to your events to get that feedback?
No, but that's a good idea.
You know,
voice of customer service is huge.
To just understand like what I guess customer or whatever client.
That's just a term, I guess.
Client, you know, is and just I always do this. I remember the first time I heard it, somebody told me, hey, just send out an email saying, hey, we want to have your feedback. We appreciate your feedback. When I did that, first thing is people love that I actually cared about their feedback.
Totally.
And that I wanted to understand and wanted to get better. And then the second thing is I was able to get the criticism, which was either good or bad, and understand, okay, this doesn't work over here. Maybe we can do a little bit better here. We can be better at this. Because you don't want anyone to feel awkward. You don't want anyone to not have a good experience, whether it's at an event or it's in your business, because experience is everything.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've done that before. Usually that once a year, and just send it out, draft an email.
That's a great idea. I mean, I have everyone's emails, so
and
I
can
do that. Yeah.
And some people like they do like an incentive to do it, like, hey, you'll be in a raffle or whatever, because a lot of times it would be people that don't, and the more participation, you got to incentivize people, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right.
Like it could be, hey, if you fill out this, we have 3 winners. The first winner is going to be able to have 15 minutes at the next thing, and give them an opportunity to network their business versus like a gift card.
Yeah.
Right.
Give them something that they would like to have that time in front of people.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'll definitely start doing it. Yeah.
At least that's what comes to mind.
Of course.
What questions do you have for us that like we can answer for you, or what things would you want to know about us?
Like, how do you guys, when you started this show, I'm amazed, if I can say this, like how do you get so many viewers? Like, it's amazing. What do you think the secret sauce? Like, what's the biggest factor in that? Is it the stories? Is it the consistency? Is it, you guys? What is it?
A couple things in play. Go ahead, start us off.
Some our most viewed video is 119,000, and then we have videos that it's only a couple thousand. So it's weird because we've looked at the analytics of like, why is it mainly men? Is it women? Same thing on like our socials, on whether it's Instagram or Facebook, TikTok.
Wow.
Like, who's looking at the material? Because we don't really tailor the content towards an ideal client per se.
Yeah.
The podcast is business, entrepreneurship, self-development, becoming better, telling stories, and then just sitting around at the table in person versus virtual podcasts and this and that. And so I just think just being real and just understanding people is what people want to see. They want to see the real struggles. They don't want to see the stuff that they see on social where it's this awesome car, because it's always an ad.
Yeah, we're not selling anything.
Yeah, of course.
It's always push, and we don't have sponsors. So, and we did that on purpose because we don't want to be forced to have to only say one thing, only agree with this, or you can't have this person on because we're here. And so we didn't want to be limited, but every time I've gone on social, it's a constant ad. It's almost like a false reality. Unfortunately, that's what it's become. And so we just want to tell everyone that we are normal people. Okay,
just two regular guys.
I might have a doctorate, but like I'm a normal guy. Like, I drink bourbon, I have cigars, like I've got kids, I have problems with my marriage at times. Like, whatever it is, like normal people can be successful, and just being able to connect people to see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, like, I'm 33. I'm super young. Like, I've been in business since 2018. I grew up in a business. I was around successful people and listening and understanding. I wasn't given anything. My grandparents are very well off. They could easily, like I said, here's $300,000, go start your business. But they would rather show me as a kid, this is how you fish. Yep. Now go fish, versus giving you a fish.
Exactly.
And I want to show people that it's possible to be successful if you put yourself around the right people with networking. And it's also possible by just putting in the hard work and every day gaining an inch. Some days you gain more, some days you go back, but you're constantly getting 1% better every day. And for the viewership, people just want real, authentic people, man. Like, again, we're real, authentic people. We want to make sure that we're telling the viewers and the listeners and showing them that we're in the trenches doing this.
Yeah.
We're not, hey, this is what you should do to make this much money per month or whatever. No.
Yeah.
We're in the trenches.
There's no clickbait here.
We're
We're
going through the struggles of whether it's politics and regime changes or whether it's, cost of goods going up. We're in the trenches of the business costs, the overhead, the stress. We're feeling it. We're in there with you. We're not like creating this false reality of, hey, we're bringing this person on and you should do this or sell this. Like, we're just telling people stories and just giving people a voice, because the best way I learned is by listening to other people that were further than me in life and understanding, okay, I remember this and this person did that, and maybe I can think of it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And just learning those things. And it's just, people just like the authenticity, and that's just the simplest answer I can give you, and we just try to put our all into these shows. And we do this on our off time.
Yeah.
And it's all self-funded. And so for us, we enjoy talking, communicating. It makes us better people too, guys.
Yeah.
Like, just talking and thinking, oh, maybe I could do this with my business, or how can I do this? Like, on a selfish side, how can we help each other? Because I'm always trying to grow.
Yeah.
And if I can do something better or have a system in place that is better, then I'm all for it. But if nobody talks about it, or if I don't put myself in those situations, I'm never going to do that. Just like, again, if you want to be a CEO, like, you got to put yourself in those situations.
Totally.
And you got to put yourself in those rooms. And I take a lot of like pride and ownership in making sure that like I can help people without it being a transactional relationship. So like for me, like giving back to people that are watching this that have no clue who I am or anything like that. If I can give you one gold nugget from a guest that's come on that will help you in a financial struggle or help you in making a decision with working for a business or whatever it is, like, I might not know it, but I hope I'm putting that good karma into the world that was given to me. And that's all we look for, man. Like when we get the DMs and people are like thankful that we're doing it, like that's our appreciation. That's all the money we need.
Yeah.
Essentially, if you want to, parallel it to like being like a business.
Yeah.
When somebody DMs you and say, hey man, like I went through this, or I was going through this. I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
I've had a shitty day. Just listening to you guys, your energy just boosted me up. I'm excited. I'm fired up to go to the next day. Appreciate it. Like that's,
yeah.
Dude,
like, I learned this. This was really helpful.
Yeah.
This part, and we kind of piggyback off of that a little bit in future episodes.
Like you respond, and you're like, dude, I'm so grateful. Like, thank you. Like, because you can only do so much by talking. But if I can help give them incentive or create encouragement, or giving them an opportunity to connect with a guest that can help them, then dude, like, that's perfect. I'm not looking for I'm not looking for, for $1. I'm looking to just give back and be able to connect and network and do that stuff. But like I said, some of the videos get 2,000-3,000, some get 50, some get 100,000. It's just,
it varies.
It's amazing.
Varies, yeah.
What you guys are doing is special.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And
thank you. Speaking of something special, hold on a second here. We have something for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
This was just this. So okay, we're two Stunads, two Italian guys. This is something that. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. That's something for you there.
Oh,
Crack
boy.
that open.
Crack it open.
Yeah.
What is this?
So when we heard that Ragu was going to be on this show,
oh my God, this is awesome.
we said, we'll get some
That is
Ragu
awesome.
for Ragu.
look at that, guys.
Are you gonna? Oh
a little
my
Ragu
God.
for Ragu.
This is awesome. Love it. Love it. I love it.
Yeah. No, but we like to bust balls.
Yeah.
We've had a pleasure talking to you, and I know we didn't get to chat much about the veteran stuff, but I'd love to be able to donate to you guys and help you guys out. We have a 501c2.
Oh, nice.
And just to touch on that point really quickly, like,
sure.
Once you hit, a financial goal and you feel comfortable in your finances, like that giving back, like the 501c stuff, like it creates purpose. Because once you hit a goal, whether it's getting a house and paying this or paying off your cars and this and that, like, what do I do next? How can I give back?
Yeah.
So I would say it's kind of similar to like that. Like when you're working, because again, we're volunteering our time for free to give back to people, as well as our money to provide the services with the team that we have behind the scenes. And we do really appreciate everyone behind the scenes. If you're watching it, from our wives to Corey, videographer, to everyone on the team, social media stuff. And that's it, man. Like, that's just having a purpose of just helping people, because again, we have our own businesses on the side, but that doesn't fulfill us. Like, being able to meet with you and help people, like, dude, I hope that we can help somebody in your network that's watching.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
And
absolutely.
Give back.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening up and being honest for the viewers.
Fun.
And I hope that you'll come on again eventually.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course,
I'd love
absolutely.
to connect with you and how we can help you become that CEO and be of service to
Definitely.
you as well.
We got your website. Are there any other ways that people can contact you? You said social or?
Yeah. So social media I'm on LinkedIn. Always be connecting.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Always be connecting.
Perfect.
On Facebook. Always be connecting.
Great.
And so it's. Yeah, that's probably the best way to start.
Okay,
Then
we'll get all those links. We'll get those links in the description so everyone can take a look at those.
Yeah, I want to make a quick shout out here. We'll make a little wager. So if you're still watching this episode, and let's just say this, if this episode hits 100,000 views, I personally will donate $5,000 to your nonprofit organization.
Wow, that's
100,000 views.
Wow,
I will donate $5,000 to the organization. Wow. So we really appreciate your support.
Man. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys connecting with Ragu.
Let's do it.
Thank you for watching the show, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.